12%. Also, more people sitting on the sidelines started looking for work again. The Detroit debate began with Donald Trump defending his anatomy and was peppered with explosive exchanges. ABC's Tom Yamas was there.
Donald Trump, the clear GOP frontrunner in this race, and Senator Rubio and Senator Cruz were trying to take him down last night. Their belief is that there are still delegates at stake, that they can win, and that Donald Trump has not won this nomination. Far from it. Senator Rubio making the case that so far 2/3 of Republican voters have picked someone other than Trump, so that a majority of Republican voters so far don't want Trump to be the nominee.
Hillary Clinton tweeted a picture of herself holding her head in her hands with the caption, "How many more of these do we have to sit through?" along with a picture of the Republican candidates over the words unintelligible yelling. It was a scare in the air for an Air France jet landing in Paris when a drone buzzed it, coming within 16 feet. ABC's David Curley tells us it's a growing concern.
Well, these kind of reports are alarming for U.S. officials. Every week, there are about a dozen sightings by pilots of drones in their airspace. And the worry is, what happens the day that one of these drones hits an aircraft, hits the engine? What happens to that aircraft and everybody on board?
The cause of Bobby Christina Brown's death was the immersion in water complicating mixed drug intoxication. The final coroner's report says the bathtub incident started the downhill course of events leading to her death. President Obama says he won't immediately be moving to Chicago, his hometown, after his term ends. He plans to stay in Washington until his youngest daughter finishes high school. How eager are moviegoers to see the new Ghostbusters movie? The female reboot? The just-released trailer has been viewed more than 8 million times already online. This is ABC News.
ABC Radio presents Made in America with David Muir. Brought to you by Advance Auto Parts Speedworks Rewards. No cards, no points, no nonsense. Details at advanceautoparts.com.
Tabasco. It's the red and green bottle, a staple in grocery stores, made on Avery Island, Louisiana. Produced for almost 150 years.
The same day the peppers are picked, they are ground into mash.
From there, it's right into places like New York's Blue Smoke Restaurant, a key ingredient in Chef Jean-Paul Bourgeot's hot wings.
They're perfect.
This is World News Tonight's David Muir. That's Made in America.
QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to come in and speak with someone?
Negative, Control. With Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, you can go through the entire mortgage process on your own and completely online.
Copy that, QL1, but if I wanted to speak to someone, do you think they're out there?
They're out there, all right. Their award-winning client service is beyond anything I've ever experienced.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
Facing a wave of criticism, Facebook has changed its tax arrangements to ensure it pays its fair share in Britain. ABC's Tom Rivers is at the foreign desk.
Social media giant Facebook, which has been under fire for its tax arrangements, says it will stop routing its British sales through Ireland, a practice that has kept its UK tax bill extremely low. In 2014, the entire company paid just over $6,000 in corporate tax here, despite Britain being one of its biggest markets outside of the U.S. That will now change. UK sales will be booked in the UK, not Ireland. Facebook UK will then record the revenue from those sales. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Today's the day. Hundreds of thousands of anxious American teens hoping to get into college are taking a new, redesigned SAT, meant to measure core skills taught in school, not just information specifically included in the test. And formally required essays are optional. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's movement on the Sierra Pacific Industries Shelton waterfront sawmill reconstruction. The site plan review application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located outside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes all of the proposed new standing structures. The comment period for the site plan review portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. The Shoreline Substantial Development Permit application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located inside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes the proposed riparian buffer areas, a portion of the site log deck, and a portion of the stormwater treatment facilities. The comment period for the Shoreline Substantial Development Permit portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Monday, April 11th. Materials submitted by Sierra Pacific Industries can be viewed on the City of Shelton's website. The city will not make a final determination on either land use permits until its comment period is over and the city has had an opportunity to assess comments received. Republican Kevin Schutte announced this week he's running for the Mason County Board of Commissioners, District 2. He hopes to succeed County Commissioner Tim Sheldon, who will not seek another term after 16 years of service. Schutte says he'll address issues including jobs and the economy, affordable housing, public safety, and open, transparent government. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen called into Daybreak with a more optimistic outlook on the end of the session, which is slated for next Thursday. Drew talked about the massive difference between the House and Senate supplemental budgets, about a $400 million difference.
The two budgets, the House budget and the Senate budget, and keep in mind these are the supplemental budgets, so all these budgets are supposed to do are make adjustments to the existing budget based on revenue forecast and caseload work of agencies, and you make adjustments based on that. And so, having said that, one of the big points of contention that we have right now is the House Democrat budget has embarked on more policy changes, which has changed their budget to the tune of over $400 million, whereas the Senate budget has done a more traditional supplemental budget where it's made the adjustments. And so we're $400 million apart, which to you and I is a truckload of money in the legislature out of $38 billion. It's a workable figure. And so where we're at right now, both the Senate and the House are on the floor every day now until the end.
Drew also talked about the votes that are being taken as the House looks at Senate bills and vice versa. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Science Fantastic with Professor Michio Kaku. Saturdays at 5, Sundays at 6 on iFIBER One News Radio.
You know, on Science Fantastic, we've had a number of neurologists talking about the incredible breakthroughs. Did you know that using computers, we can actually communicate with the thinking brain? Telepathy, telekinesis, recording memories, photographing a dream. Machines that are controlled by the mind.
The Tom Hartman Show, live 9 to noon, weekdays on iFIBER One News Radio.
This is not an election cycle where middle-of-the-road Democrats are going to stir up enough of the base and enough excitement and enthusiasm that they're going to seriously win elections. And that's the thing that Republicans have figured out and Democrats have yet to learn, which is that elections are not about swaying so-called undecided voters. They're about stirring up the base. The base will bring the undecided voters along with them. They'll do it through social media. They'll do it through talking to their neighbors. They'll do it by talking to people in the workplace. But you've got to energize the base.
Well, good morning, 6:08 at iFIBER One News Radio. I'm Dale Hubbard, and he's Jeff Slakey.
Good morning.
Welcome to it, a Friday, Blue Friday if you're wearing Gonzaga blue.
Oh, I got blue on.
There you go.
It's always a blue Friday.
Mariners won for the second day in a row. I say, let's just mail it in.
It's done. I mean,
Let's
right?
book
That's
our
good
World Series
enough.
Seats right now.
Cubbies, Mariners, World Series 2016.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Those are my two favorite teams right there.
Home advantage Mariners.
Absolutely, because American League will win the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So we got the season all figured out for you. The score yesterday, it was a very exciting come-from-behind 6-5 win in front of 3,901 fans at Peoria Stadium. The Mariners collected double-digit hits for the second game in a row, including 8 hits by players that, well, didn't start the game. Starter Nathan Kearns, by the way, tossed 2.0 scoreless innings, and the bullpen allowed just 2 earned runs the rest of the way. The Mariners 2-0 return to Cactus League play today against Milwaukee. First road test, the Maryvale Stadium. Right-handed pitcher Taijuan Walker scheduled to start for the M's against the Brewers. Right-hander Wiley Coyote. No, Wiley Peralta, that's it. Our first broadcast of the Mariners is tomorrow against the Angels. Pregame at noon, first pitch at 10 past noon. Mariners baseball continues Sunday as well against the Texas Rangers, and coverage begins at 11:55. Husky women beat number 12 seed Colorado in the first round of the Pac-12 conference tournament, 67-55. 51. Meanwhile, SC rallied through a tense finish to defeat number 9 Washington State 77-73 in the first round also of the Pac-12 tournament. And don't forget, Gonzaga in the WCC tournament tomorrow night taking on Portland in the quarterfinals. Coverage begins at 9:10. 9:30 is the tip. And a win for the Zags. They move on Monday for the semifinals and then the finals on Tuesday. iFIBER One covers the Zags as far as they go this month in the WCC. And we hope the NCAA.
That's true. I guess it is. There's a potential maybe the NIT. And then we'll reassess in that situation. Mid-50s today, over a half-inch rain likely. Showers to start around 11:30 this morning. 50 degrees continues over the weekend. Rain off and on, and the rain looks to last through next week. 35 and clear out there right now.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. 6:11 at iFIBER One News Radio. Jeff and Dale on a Friday morning, the 4th of March. Woo! Mariners tomorrow. I'm excited. It's been nice to talk about the Mariners a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's just, it's the harbinger of spring.
Mm-hmm.
You start talking baseball, you're talking spring and then summer. And, of course, through all that is hay fever season. So barometric pressure has been like crazy this last week.
Yeah.
And some of us who are sensitive to that have suffered.
You're here feeling it?
Oh, man. This is the first day in a week that I felt halfway human.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It just...
Sneezing attacks. Jerry and I both have been going crazy with some sneezing attacks each day. And so there's some kind of pollen popping up somewhere. Somebody's springing out. So headline news for the Northwest here this morning. And one dateline right here, Tehran, Iran. Jeff, Iranian TV reporting that the Islamic Republic of Iran has invited Boeing to negotiate a possible purchase. Well, we'll see how that turns out.
Opening up all these news.
Our money's good here.
Why not?
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Ari Wolf with NFL Network now on the Westwood One Radio Network. As the Broncos await a decision from Peyton Manning on whether or not he will retire, Manning does have a scheduled physical with the team today. However, NFL media insider Ian Rappaport reports that he just has to communicate to the Broncos his availability for the physical, not actually take the physical. Peyton is owed $19 million if he is on the roster on March 9th. Tom Brady was back in the news Thursday. A hearing in the U.S. Court of Appeals heard 3 judges question lawyers for both the NFL and NFLPA to determine if they will uphold the ruling that set aside Tom Brady's 4-game suspension for his alleged involvement in the Deflategate. A decision from the 3 judges isn't expected for months. Monday, this year's free agency frenzy begins, and NFL Network is there for 4 straight days with all the breaking news. Which NFL stars will be on the move? Free agency frenzy starts Monday at 12, live on NFL Network. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Platinum is a word reserved for premium products, hence why you've never seen platinum corn dogs or platinum toothpicks. So you know Pennzoil Platinum is the good stuff. And now Napa's got Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil for just $5.29 a quart. Plus, buy 12 quarts, you get $2 per quart back by mail. For just $5.29 a quart, you'll get premium oil for a corn dog price. That's Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 3/31/16.
QL1, does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork? Negative control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes. That is fast, like rocket fast. It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Over. 3, 2, 1. Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
A lot of the crowd was going nuts last night. Talking about the
we're kind of egging them all on.
The debate.
Our world is
pretty soon it's going to be just grudge match, thumbs up, thumbs down, like Gladiator.
In a gallery out there. These are presidential candidates. They're supposed to.
I think we talked about this before. Should there even be an audience?
Well, they've tried them without audiences, and all the candidates hate it.
Yeah, because that's what they're looking for. Their zings.
Yeah.
But talk about something else other than the size of your hand.
The very first one was hardly any audience, just a sprinkling of family or something, or maybe just the reporters.
They couldn't
and they didn't like it. They didn't like the rhythm of it. So from that point on, now they've always had a live audience for this.
I don't know. It's crazy. That theater though was beautiful. The Fox Theater in Detroit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was absolutely a gorgeous place. And the audience was pretty cool. I mean, it
was cool to have the audience there. There was a ton of them.
Yeah.
They just seemed to.
They were engaged. I don't know. This is just the craziest presidential election in my life that I've ever seen.
So yesterday, Romney comes out and talks.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Does he kind of just thumb his nose to the people who actually are voting for him? He's coming up and saying, "Hey, voters, you guys are stupid for voting for this guy." But they're making their own decision.
Well, the whole Republican Party, now I'm trying to decipher whether or not it's going through a transition, old guard versus new recruits that Trump's bringing into the fold.
Right. That's what he keeps saying.
That's what I think. I think that's what's happening, and that the old guard is fearful that Trump won't kowtow to the old guard.
I was thinking about this yesterday. Who cares what the name of it is? The party.
Exactly. We shouldn't, but there's
everything
since the very beginning. It's always been we represent this,
and this is our name, and this is our identifier. So I found it strange to find out that in '64, when Goldwater was up there, basically the same exact thing happened at the convention in '64. One of the leads on that was Governor Romney, but his dad, who was the governor of Michigan at the time.
Okay.
He's on the floor of the thing going, we can't have a hate monger up representing our party. Now, 40 years later, there's his son doing it.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing?
That's so weird.
If we would learn from history, we wouldn't repeat the same mistakes over and over.
Repeat. 6:18 this morning.
Another thing that you and I kind of got into here about a year ago, Jeff, was about that Richland flower shop.
Oh yeah, it's still in the news,
and it did pop back up, and I've heard Casey reference.
They were talking about it last night.
Yeah, and so anyway, she ran into legal trouble for refusing to provide services for a same-sex wedding in 2013. Baronell Stutzman's attorney said that she referred the customers to other florists, and that if the ruling stands, it would infringe on her religious freedoms. The Supreme Court here in Washington will hear an appeal now for her. So it's a couple of years later. We'll see what happens.
And then
the controversy continues.
Likely go to the other Supreme Court, the big one.
There's always interpretations. If you and I look at the same thing, we both come away saying that we saw something different. Crazy.
Port of Everett officials are looking to get started on a $10 million project to remove contaminated sediment in Port Gardner to make way for larger cargo ships. The Daily Herald reporting the project is part of the Port of Everett's $313 million plan to extend the pack terminal there, handle bigger cargo ships by 2020. So it's because it's not deep enough. That's what we're talking about.
That's exactly right.
Not necessarily
super ships. That big one that came in last week is, they say, the beginning of there's going to be bigger.
Did you hear me talk about how big that thing was?
It was amazing.
So Alcatraz, if you look at Alcatraz, it's 1,600 feet.
So it could cover, you could cover all of Alcatraz?
All but 300 feet of it.
Oh my gosh.
That's how big that thing was.
It's huge.
200 feet tall, 18 wider than a football field.
Oh my gosh.
And then 18,000 cargo ships.
And only 3 people run the whole crew. No.
I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows?
That is an amazing thing. So Everett's going to get a deep water port.
Good.
Tacoma's done that, and Seattle. So there's 3 nice big ports here in the Northwest I guess, of course, they're betting on trade.
Yeah.
So
Washington Senate has passed a bill that would create grant programs to provide support for a rising number of homeless students. Grant programs in part would help school districts hire more homeless liaisons and provide homeless students assistance with housing, transport, case management, emergency shelters, and more. That's a big problem here in Mason County.
Yes.
Shelton School District, we hear about it all the time.
I think, so this is a bill that's been passed in the Senate. I'm confused now. We're in the last week of the session. So if the Senate passes this bill, has it already been passed by the House?
Yeah, because it was amended. So it was initially House Bill 1682 that passed 42-6.
Okay.
And then it was in the Senate. They looked at it. They tweaked it a little. Now it's got to go back. And if it looks similar, then the House will pass it as is. And then that's when it goes to the governor. And again, we got to get this all done
in a week.
By Thursday.
Less than a week.
Drew is optimistic, 35th District Representative, Drew McEwen. Tim Sheldon, though, who we had on Monday, was not as.
Right.
And Dan as well. So we'll see what happens.
And this is the short session.
Yeah, this is the short session. Remember, so you can't politic during the session.
No.
So people with perhaps tougher races this upcoming
they want to
year.
get the heck out of
go. We got to get
home.
I got to start
talk to
meeting my constituents. It's exactly
the ones that I love and hold so dear. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, I remember you.
I remember you. Your old checkbook over there.
Oh, yeah. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Have I got everybody's attention here?
Yes.
Suing the city of Seattle.
What for?
Well, it's a new law allowing drivers of ride-hailing companies like Uber and Lyft to unionize.
Okay. Interesting.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Washington Health Plan Finder offers many health plan options to meet a diversity of needs. And as your needs change with marriage, family, or other life-changing events, you can change your health plan too. In an effort to make sure everyone is well covered, Mason General Hospital provides a service to help register people with the plan that suits their needs. Simply go online to masongeneral.com and click on Washington Health Plan Finder to browse the various plans available. Then call Mason General's project supervisor, Susanna Lopez, at 432-7766.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
There's no place like home.
Getting home safely is just a click away. Find the right seat for your little one's age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat for more information. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Is your business targeting the state's largest payroll? Military personnel at JBLM and Naval Base Kitsap surpass all others, and Swarner Communications gives your businesses direct reach into those markets with newspaper advertising, face-to-face events, email blasts, mobile marketing, reputation management, and more, all for one affordable price. Call Swarner Communications today, 253-584-1212.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER ONE Newsradio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER ONE Newsradio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCord, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER ONE News Radio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
From the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
6:25 at iFIBER One News Radio. It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale. We have the latest in local news in about 5 minutes with Mary Lynn Foster.
Have you been on this Olympia Woodland Trail yourself?
I feel like I have.
It seems like you've walked every trail in Olympia. Listening to you anyway.
A lot of miles under these boots. Let me Google where that is, because I'm thinking.
All right.
If it's where it is, I have been on. I'm thinking of the Western Chehalis Trail.
Bail is $250,000. 36-year-old man arrested in connection with a stabbing not too long ago on the Olympia Woodland Trail. Jason Tester appeared in court, and on Wednesday he faces assault while armed with a deadly weapon. This happened in February. Officers had responded to the trail after a 28-year-old victim called authorities to report that he'd been stabbed. Says that he was just walking along the trail when a guy got up to him, stabbed him multiple times in the torso. Court documents say police had been unable to find the suspect until the victim pointed him out in a photo lineup. Tester's attorney said his client, who is a transient, could not afford to post any amount of bail that the court imposed. So $250,000, $250, $2.50, didn't matter. He can't make bail.
So this is on East Side Street, where the old, I mean very old inner city transit building used to be.
Gosh,
now it's where that's where he started. Now it's where the waste management is, and it's butts along Wheeler Avenue, which has always been a fun road to drive on. It's like a roller coaster, but it goes alongside I-5, and it is a very wooded trail. I do remember being on this trail.
Okay.
And it definitely goes alongside areas where I have seen encampments.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it with that.
Okay. All right.
But a good trail nonetheless.
I don't like feeling nervous about encampments, but I do.
Sure.
Anxiety. So sometimes some trails that I used to walk, I don't walk anymore because there's been encampments. And I'm not casting disparaging remarks toward homeless people. It just makes me uneasy to walk by those areas. Is that unusual? Is that wrong?
It's just a different situation. I mean, I've been on trails, and if I saw something, well, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Even if I started walking on a normal trail that I go on every day, and I look over and I see even rocks stacked up. You know, sometimes you'll see people just stack rocks, or like an old Blair Witch. You know, someone will hang stuff in the woods.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything, but it is off-putting. It's not what you're normally used to seeing. Yeah. And they're watching you and you're freaking out. Yikes. It worked.
They're laughing and snickering.
The Woodland Trail. I've gone geocaching on the Woodland Trail, actually.
Yeah, geocaching.
Just thinking about that. I heard about a treasure. This guy in Texas, this rich guy in Texas, he hid a treasure somewhere in the Sierra Pacifics. And it's like a $3 million treasure. He buried it. And there's a poem, and there's clues, and there's a couple books that
rich guy.
He's a rich guy. He was an antiquities dealer, and he said, I grew up finding stuff. My first thing I found was an arrowhead on the ground, and from then I loved treasure hunting, and I went out and I decided to hide something. Now you got to wonder if he actually hid it or not, and I like to think that he did.
Yeah.
So it's a cool poem, and you know, as soon as you hear the poem, you can think about where, not underwater, but above the highest crest of the bluff of the Pink Mountains.
Okay,
one of those things.
Riddles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really does kind of get you going, oh, there's treasure out there all the time. People are finding stuff all the time.
Yeah. This is a true story. Just about 6:30 in the morning, we'll join Mary Lynn Foster with some news headlines from here around our neck of the woods. Jeff and I will return with some sports and weather, and a couple of tough losses for some local schools in quarterfinal action. Well, they're in survival mode. Now they're in a win or go home thing. So tough stuff. We'll give you details on Black Hills, and I think it was the Black Hills boys and Black Hills girls and the River Ridge boys.
Okay,
both bumpy roads to get to state, but not completely done for yet, so don't stick a fork in them yet.
6:30 at iFIBER One News Radio, and Mary Lynn Foster has the latest in local news.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's movement on the Sierra Pacific Industries Shelton waterfront sawmill reconstruction. The site plan review application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located outside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes all of the proposed new standing structures. The comment period for the site plan review portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. The shoreline substantial development permit application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located inside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes the proposed riparian buffer areas, a portion of the site log deck, and a portion of the stormwater treatment facilities. The comment period for the shoreline substantial development permit portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Monday, April 11th. Materials submitted by Sierra Pacific Industries can be viewed on the City of Shelton's website. The city will not make a final determination on either land use permits until its comment period is over and the city has had an opportunity to assess comments received. Republican Kevin Schutte announced this week he's running for the Mason County Board of Commissioners, District 2. He hopes to succeed County Commissioner Tim Sheldon, who will not seek another term after 16 years of service. Schutte says he'll address issues including jobs and the economy, affordable housing, public safety, and open, transparent government. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen called into Daybreak with a more optimistic outlook on the end of the session, which is slated for next Thursday. Drew talked about the massive difference between the House and Senate supplemental budgets, about a $400 million difference.
The two budgets, the House budget and the Senate budget, and keep in mind these are the supplemental budgets, so all of these budgets are supposed to do are make adjustments to the existing budget based on revenue forecast and caseload work of agencies, and you make adjustments based on that. And so, having said that, one of the big points of contention that we have right now is the House Democrat budget has embarked on more policy changes, which has changed their budget to the tune of over $400 million, whereas the Senate budget has done a more traditional supplemental budget where it's made the adjustments. And so we're $400 million apart, which to you and I is a truckload of money in the legislature out of $38 billion. It's a workable figure. And so where we're at right now, both the Senate and the House are on the floor every day now until the end.
Drew also talked about the votes that are being taken as the House looks at Senate bills and vice versa. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS at FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
I'm attorney Harold Carr. During the past 25 years, more than 8,000 people have trusted me to handle their personal injury cases. I understand how an injury can disrupt your life and cause financial hardship for you and your family. At the law firm of Harold Carr, we have 5 attorneys and 19 staff members experienced with negotiating and litigating with insurance companies. So if you feel the insurance company is not dealing with you fairly, call me, Harold Carr. Let us deal with the insurance company so you won't have to.
Car accident? Call Carr or visit us online at haroldcarrattorney.com.
You can guess the results, and the Kings with a big road win. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. Steph Curry wasn't at his three-point best last night against the Thunder, but he got plenty of help from his friends by the Bay.
Draymond, middle of the floor, left side, Klay to the rim. Klay Thompson with a two-hand slam, and the Thunder need a timeout.
On KNBR, Warriors tied an NBA record by winning their 44th straight regular season home game, 121-106 over Oklahoma City. Curry scored 33. Kawhi Leonard with a clutch basket in the final minute in New Orleans.
Around that screen, straightaway three. Kawhi not! Wow! Kawhi Leonard with a huge three.
On WOAI, Leonard scored 30. Spurs held off the Pelicans 94-86 for their 7th straight win, and a significant road victory for the Kings in Dallas.
Out to Bellinelli, uncovered for 3. He's got another one. It's his 3rd triple tonight.
On KHTK, Kings knock off the Mavericks 104-101. Sacramento ends a 22-game regular season losing streak in Big D. Top 25 college hoops, a nail-biter in Tucson as Arizona's Gabe York knocked down 2 huge threes in the final minute.
Back things up a bit. They want York to come off a screen. He gets it. He turns. He shoots a 3 for the lead. He's got it.
On the Arizona IMG Sports Network, and the 18th-ranked Wildcats complete the comeback win over number 25 California 64-61. Maryland beat Illinois 81-55. To the NHL, Dwight is the king of all kings.
King in all alone. Takes a shot. Scores! Beautiful play by Dwight King.
On KABC, Kings crowned the Canadians 3-2 in Los Angeles. The Islanders tied at 3 in Winnipeg.
From runs down the slot, shoots, knocked down in front, Oposo the rebound, he scores! Kyle Oposo, the overtime winner for New York.
On WRHU-FM, Islanders 4-3 over the Jets. NFL notes the Texans released franchise rushing leader Arian Foster after 7 seasons. First round of the Davis Cup in Australia, where the Americans and host country are tied at 1. The Bryan brothers play doubles on Saturday. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
The calendar has moved to March. Weather is starting to get better. Days are getting longer. March 20th, the first day of spring. And with spring, attention turns to America's pastime, baseball. Seattle Mariners baseball. iFIBER One News Radio is your home for Seattle Mariners baseball all season long. You can listen on AM 1030 or FM 1033. The South Sound home for Mariners baseball this season is iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
6:36 and a pleasant Friday, everybody. Lots of basketball action. It's playoff time, kids, and man, oh man, you might have had to wait all day long to get to that Tumwater game last night, but it was worth it. The T-Birds of Tumwater beat Ellensburg in overtime, 58-57. What a game it must have been.
Go T-Birds.
Man, 2A quarterfinals. They move into the semifinals tonight against Shorecrest, who beat River Ridge, the highly ranked River Ridge boys team, by 10 yesterday. Shorecrest packing a 6'7" baller on their team.
Tall.
So that's who Thunderbirds have to contend with today. So that is pretty exciting stuff. Girls basketball locally, Black Hills losing to Linden by a final of 59-44. We'll have some video highlights of the Tumwater game for you posted up a little later on today from Sean Wells and the iFIBER sports team.
Yep.
So that's pretty exciting stuff. Mariners won for the second day in a row. I don't want to get too amped up about this Cactus
Come
League
on,
stuff.
you got to get amped up about it. This is the year.
6-5 come from behind her over the San Diego Pods before 3,901 fans at Peoria Stadium, and good times for everybody. Now today, Mariners hit the road for Cactus League play, going to take on the Brew Crew out of Milwaukee, and that'll be at Maryvale Stadium in Arizona somewhere. Our first broadcast of Mariners baseball is tomorrow against the Angels, and we'll have pregame at noon, first pitch at 10 afternoon, and then Sunday at 11:55 against the Texas Rangers. That is sports this time around. Jeff Slakey has our weekend forecast.
Yeah, the South Sound forecast, good morning to you, is calling for mid-50s today, half-inch of rain. Showers likely to start around 11:30 or so. 50 degrees continues through the weekend with rain off and on, and rain looks to last into next week. Clear now, though, and 35.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You, from business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
27 minutes. That's how far it is from the Peoria Sports Complex to the Maryvale Baseball
Not
Park.
a big road trip for the guys.
No,
today.
right between Glendale. It's right in the Glendale's right in the middle of this. So imagine living down there full time or even part time, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the fall you have got football with Arizona.
Yeah, just be in the middle of the triangle right there.
And they have a hockey team too in
Yeah.
Arizona, right in that area.
Coyotes, Phoenix Coyotes.
And man, and then you're
It's
just
pretty
close
cool.
to this regional parks and it's beautiful down there. You going this year?
Somewhere around 90 degrees right now. They're getting a hot streak going on down there.
Nothing wrong with that.
I was, in light of the recent developments, I had planned, and I still may sneak 5 days down there. I haven't completely made up my mind yet, down in the Tucson area, which they hardly play baseball at all out there anymore. For some reason, they've moved all the teams close to each other.
Yeah.
So there's no travel problems with the Cactus League season. So it's more efficient and fans all like it. But they do end up with 1 or 2 games out yonder, way up north in Tucson, or whatever they call it. So, jeez, they make this big deal about Tucson and Phoenix. They're like an hour apart.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's not a big deal.
I was just at the dentist the other day, and they were talking about how everybody used to go to Phoenix and Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And now everybody, for whatever reason, goes to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. It's
more expensive.
It's way more expensive. Jeez. The only thing I could think of is that it's about a 5-hour less drive. That's the only thing, because you go on holiday for sun.
And Robert Poole lives in that area now.
Oh, that's right. There is a big draw.
Probably the reason why there's a big influx.
What if there's a large union delegate that shows up down there and some sort of a hole in the wall?
Oh, sure there must be.
Hey, Robert. Oh, man, that would be funny.
He hasn't gotten a haircut, for those of you wondering.
Much to the chagrin of Palm Springers everywhere.
Oh, my word. Oh, my word. All right. Let's see. If you have a Sharpie in your home, and I don't mean one of those Marks a Lot Sharpies, I'm talking about a brainiac, a kid that you're raising that is like off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smarty pants,
yeah.
or she's a smarty pants,
yeah.
Right? The Pentagon wants you. You betcha.
Stay in the
U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter. Hey, Ash. Says he's been, you got to be careful with that first name. Says he's been working with technology businesses to improve the nation's cybersecurity, and they're recruiting another generation to serve. You go into that Pentagon, you never come out, kids. I'm just saying.
That is true.
I'm just saying. At a meeting with business and community leaders in Seattle yesterday, Carter talked about a number of ways that the Pentagon's borrowing some of the best minds in technology to improve the nation's security. Not that our country can't use some brains. I'm going to give them credit there. They are going down the right path. But think long and hard. If you're really smart, you can make $1 bajillion in the private sector.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to go to work for the government. But we could use you.
There's this place in the Pentagon that the Russians used to key in on. They would always see these high-level generals and people going into this one part of the Pentagon, right in the middle. So the Pentagon, is a big pentagon, and in the middle there's a thing there. And the nukes or the missiles were pointed right on that. It turns out it was a hot dog stand.
See, the most important part of the Pentagon right there.
Where everybody went. I said, this has got to be an important location.
That's the heartbeat of the Pentagon right there.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Sometimes GPS lets you down. Always have a map handy in the glove box. And that's an easy thing to do with Mass Marketing Maps. These maps are free. Pick one up today at West Realty in Hoodsport, Mountain View Licensing on Wallace Neyland, at the Agate Store, and at iFIBER ONE News Radio. So the next time technology lets you down, be prepared with a new map from Mass Marketing.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Paraswabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Paraswabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Paraswabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Paraswabs risk-free, call 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-928-7113. That's 1-800-928-7113.
We love hearing from our listeners and sharing their stories with you. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Today we're featuring a young Rhode Island girl who launched her own soap-making business as she's living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
He's done 3 tours and now he's saving his dad's farm. Do you know a farmer veteran like that? We're inviting you to share their story. Successful Farming Magazine and Grasshopper Mowers are teaming up to acknowledge and thank farmer veterans for their service. This new initiative is called From Fighter to Farmer. Enter any veteran farmers you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer. Explain the veteran's military experience and farming operation, along with involvement they have in your community. 3 veterans will receive a combination prize package of $5,000 and a vacation to Nashville. 1 lucky winner will also receive a $10,000 gift certificate to spend at Grasshopper Mowers. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 40 contiguous United States and D.C. 13 years and older. Begins February 1st, 2016 and ends April 30th, 2016. Subject to official rules at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer rules. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Sponsor Meredith Corporation. From Fighter to Farmer is brought to you by Grasshopper Mowers. Enter any veteran farmer you know in our contest at agriculture.com/fighter to farmer.
Rachel Travis of North Scituate, Rhode Island, is only 13 years old, but she can tell you everything you want to know about making soap from goat milk. She got her very first dairy goat when she was 7 years old, and 2 years later, she had 10. Rachel says as the herd grew, she had a dilemma to solve.
They all went into milk because they all had their babies. We had so much milk, and I didn't know what to do with all of it, so I started looking up what you can do with goat milk, and I found goat milk soap, and me and my sister tried it out. My sister didn't like making it, but I loved making it, so I kept on making it, and then I started selling it at farmers markets.
Rachel says in the very beginning, she went through a lot of trial and error trying to find just the right soap recipe on the internet. She tinkered with several of them to come up with her own concoction. Rachel saw this was a way she could do her part to help on the farm. She has developed 15 different soap scents and has taken ownership of her business from milking the goats to wrapping the soap bars to selling them at the farmers markets and online. Rachel enjoys the soap making process and the benefits from the end results.
It's like a science experiment, and each soap comes out different. I like it especially because now I get to raise my farm off of the money I make from the soap.
They now have 15 dairy goats, and Rachel's mom and siblings make lotions, lip balm, and candles. Rachel gets a paycheck from her soap sales at the farmers markets. Besides investing in the family farm, she's also saving the money for college. Her plan is to study business management. We'd like to hear what makes your place special. Tell us about it at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
Time now for your latest KMAS ski report. We're kind of between storms, so Friday, a nice day to get out there. Still plenty of powdery snow, too, when you get away from the groom. You're going on some of the glades and the steeps and the bumps, and you're getting that nice, soft snow. Summit Snoqualmie Central, softening spring conditions at 28 trails. It's 20 slopes for Summit Snoqualmie Alpental. They still have packed powder. Crystal Mountain got a few inches of fresh snow with 56 trails, and Mission Ridge is 100%. Mount Baker stands to get a bit of snow this weekend. They have 1,000 acres of terrain, 38 groom trails in very nice shape. Summit at Snoqualmie East and West are both back for Saturday. We'll get some showers and some snow showers, too. Mount Bachelor is 100% with packed powder on a firm base. Schweitzer, Idaho picked up several inches of fresh snow this week with 92 trails. Sun Valley with 117 slopes. Big Mountain Groom Cruisers will soften with spring conditions on Saturday. I'm Chuck Devine for KMAS News Radio AM 1030 and FM 103.3.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
6:49 at iFIBER One News Radio, Daybreak, and good morning to you, Jeff and Dale.
Yes, I'm riding shotgun, man.
Well, it's the 50th anniversary of one of John Lennon's most infamous statements at the height of Beatlemania.
Right before they left for Seattle.
So they were in Seattle.
They were in London.
They said that.
Yeah.
And they landed in Seattle to answer the questions.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. ABC's Dave Packer has more.
March 4th, 1966. The Beatles were everywhere on the radio, charting hit after hit. It seemed they could do no wrong.
until a London newspaper quoted John Lennon as saying the Beatles were more popular than Jesus. The interview sparking outrage in the U.S., prompting protests, Southern radio stations banning Beatles music. Months later, John Lennon finally issuing an apology.
I just said what I said and it was wrong or was taken wrong, but now it's all this.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
So this is a big deal.
It was a big deal. He didn't mean it derogatorily toward Jesus.
No, he just said,
people are more familiar with who we are than Jesus now. I mean, and he was just kind of bewildered about it as much as everybody else was.
He may not have been
He's a
wrong.
young man at this time.
He may have not have been wrong.
And I don't know that he was wrong. I was on the cusp of getting my driver's license. I could care less.
But you were listening to the Beatles?
Have the car and crank up the Beatles as soon as I could get that license in my hand, which would be tomorrow.
So
I didn't care.
You didn't care. Do your folks care?
No.
My
dad wasn't a big Beatles fan. Huh?
You were in Montesano?
Yes. Yeah.
Did anybody in Montesano care?
Yeah. Oh, there was a whole pack of Beatle nuts.
I know, but against the Beatles.
Oh, yeah, but nobody made any public.
It wasn't that big of a deal.
No big deal. No, not a big ripple there in Grace Harbor.
Was the revolt against disco more than the revolt against the Beatles?
I think the revolt against disco was stronger than the revolt against the Beatles. Yeah.
I mean, this is big deals. I mean, there's people say crazy stuff every day.
Every day. That one stood out. Stood the test of time 50 years ago.
It sure
50 years ago.
Still talking about it. 1966.
Man. Yeah. So
pretty cool.
My world was a lot smaller then.
I think everybody's was. I know mine was.
Yes, it was.
6:52 here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, and a good morning to you.
What else you got there?
Well, how about this one? I'll try to find this one real fast as we get ready to talk about the news from the day. Alex Stone has some information on they increased the smoking age in California here, and Alex Stone has more.
Right now, only Hawaii has a statewide smoking age of 21, but California's State Assembly has just approved a package of anti-tobacco bills, including one that would increase the smoking age here from 18 to 21. Also, electronic cigarettes would be banned in restaurants, all kinds of theaters, and public places. Republicans argue personal choice about smoking shouldn't be taken away from Californians who are old enough to vote, join the military, and marry. But Democrats say it's about public health. The bills now head to California's Senate, where they're expected to be approved. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
I think I'm more with the repos on this one. If you can vote, if you can die for our country, go get a pack of Camels.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Exactly.
Raise everything to 21.
Well,
or lower everything to 16 or
18 or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm with you.
Make it a. Plus, it's just so complicated.
Well, and then.
So what? Well, hold on.
Okay.
So they said cigarettes at 18, now at 21. Is it because there are more? And I don't know if this is true, but I'm just going to say this: there are more 18-year-olds in high school, and so like when your high school buddies go to the store to buy you some smokes, then it is opening the door to the younger kids?
Well, what's
the deal?
What I think is that kids grew up faster 2 generations ago than they grow up today. In other words, at 16 to 18 years of age, during my parents' and their parents' era, you were very often a breadwinner or contributing to the family income or out on your own
or
done with school
or heading to war.
So it was a whole different thing. And so smoke, sure, it's the least of our worries. Do whatever you want. You're out there fighting and so it was just, you just grew up faster and you died quicker. Yep. Your life was more compact then. And so now it's a little bit of a different take and it's a whole different set of situations. But I'm with you. If you're old enough to vote and you're old enough to serve your country, you're old enough to make those decisions. Whether you make good decisions, that's up to you. But you're old enough to make those decisions and be responsible for those. And so that's where I'm at with that.
I am for this banning e-cigarettes. Did I tell you I was in the mall the other day? There was people vaping.
No.
And there are times. So if you go to a marijuana shop.
Goofy.
Oh, it looks. Where does all the smoke come from? There isn't a massive amount of.
Is it smoke or
vapor?
What? I don't even know what it is.
White mist.
Yes, there it is.
There's a ton of it, and so
where's it go?
You can smell You can buy cartridges that are tobacco, and then you can buy cartridges that are marijuana oil.
How do you know the difference?
Other than you are the one that buy it,
other than the look in your eyes,
you can smell it a little. I feel that you can smell the marijuana vapor a little, at least.
Yeah.
So when you're walking around the mall and people are vaping,
are they vaping? Who knows?
And then again, how do you go up to somebody and say something? It's just like the service animals deal.
I know.
It's so uncomfortable. I don't know anybody that is like, yeah, man, it was awesome. I saw this dog at the grocery store the other day, and its owner and the dog were leaning over and licking the dairy section. I don't know anybody that has ever said that. Everybody I talk to says, these animals are out of control.
There's too many of them.
You weren't here, but the other day I told a story about how we were at the mall again. I wasn't, somebody I know was at the mall, and they were walking behind a lady walking her dog. And the dog takes a crap right in the middle of the mall and then walks on.
Didn't clean it up.
So the person I know goes to one of the cleaners and says, there's this dog feces here in the middle of the mall. Then the lady walks around the end of the mall, comes back, walks right past where the person is cleaning up.
Didn't even look at it.
Didn't even look. The other story was that dog took a crap at a Home Depot. The worker says, ma'am, your dog. She says, oh, that's your job to clean it up. So, and you can't even ask any questions. There are 3 of the most general questions ever. Is that a dog? Is that an animal? Is it providing a service?
Yeah.
And that's basically all you can ask because of the HIPAA laws. So,
makes sense.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Fresh produce has been hard to come by over the winter, but that is about to change. A look at what's in season for March on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Friday, March 4th. It is the 64th day of the year, and coaching legend Knute Rockne was born on this day. With springtime on the horizon, your choice of in-season produce is about to get much better. And better yet, the earliest spring vegetables are often regarded as superfoods, rich in potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. You'll often find turnips near the top of that list. Snag a few when they appear in the produce aisle and enjoy them roasted with carrots and sweet potatoes. Don't pass up fresh radishes. They're packed with vitamin C and add a nice spicy crunch as a salad topping. And nothing says taste of spring like fresh, tender spears of asparagus, one of the best sources of vitamin K, important for bone health. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Stocks are lower despite a strong jobs report. The Dow's down 20 points, the Nasdaq lower by 9. The Labor Department says payrolls rose by 242,000 jobs last month, while the unemployment rate held at an 8-year low of 4.9%. Some stocks to keep an eye on today. Hewlett-Packard reporting better than expected profit and revenue. Samsonite agreeing to buy Tumi for $1.8 billion, the world's largest luggage group, hopes the acquisition will help it successfully expand into the luxury market. Carmike Cinemas, AMC Entertainment, said it would buy the theater chain for $1.1 billion, including debt. And Dunkin' Donuts is hoping to win customers over from Starbucks after its rival changed its loyalty program to favor higher spending customers over frequent buyers. Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware.
My new house is between two lawns that should be on the cover of Lawns Illustrated. I need my lawn to fit in.
I told Sam that during Scott's Days at Ace, he can get the products he needs for a great lawn, like grass seed, fertilizer, and weed killer.
Ace is a place that gives you a magazine cover-worthy lawn. All the Lawns Illustrated is completely made up.
It's Scott's Days at Ace. Stock up and get up to $130 in instant savings on Scott's Miracle-Gro brands, including Ortho and Roundup. Ace Rewards members get savings instantly in store. Offer valid March 2nd through 7th. Store stock only. See participating stores for details.
Alex Jones and InfoWars on from 6 to 9 weekdays on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033 KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Good news on the job front. Employers added far more new workers than expected to their payrolls last month. ABC's Aaron Katersky has the breakdown.
The U.S. economy created 242,000 jobs in February, surpassing expectations of a slower monthly job growth rate. The unemployment rate last month was steady at 4.9%. Americans found work in healthcare, retail, and in restaurants. Workers made a bit less, though. Average hourly earnings dipped by 3 cents after an increase in January. More jobs were created in January and in December than first thought.
The CDC is hosting a special Zika summit in April to provide state and local government officials with all the information they need to stop the spread of the virus. Marco Rubio blames Donald Trump for dragging the Republican presidential debate to new lows with vulgar references to his anatomy. Rubio says he would love to stop the trash talk, but he thinks Trump needs a taste of his own medicine. ABC's Ryan Barrow has more.
Hours after squabbling with Donald Trump on the debate stage over topics like the hiring of foreigners and the lawsuit against Trump University, Senator Marco Rubio, who was called Little Marco by Trump, is continuing his attack on the Republican frontrunner. Rubio telling ABC News Friday,
I regret the way the campaign has become, absolutely, because Donald Trump for the last year has made it one of the most vulgar spectacles in American political history.
During the debate, Rubio called Trump a con artist and said he deserved to be attacked. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Detroit.
The final coroner's report blames Bobby Christina Brown's death on her immersion in water, which complicated a mixed drug intoxication. Drugs found in her body included marijuana, a cocaine-based substance, and anti-anxiety medication. Investigators say her immersion in a bathtub triggered the series of events that led to her death. Apple is now offering customer support on Twitter. The company's Twitter account just went live hours ago, and it's already fielded questions about Apple Music, Apple IDs, and enabling smart quotes, the curly quotation marks. This is ABC News.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Friday's first endless apps of 2016 begins now.
Kitchen, we are a go.
That's right. America's favorite guilty pleasure is back. And $10 still gets you endless rounds of your favorite app. Like mozzarella sticks, loaded potato skins, or 8 styles of wings. We're talking endless rounds of the best appetizers on earth.
More endless apps for mankind.
Endless apps are back at Friday.
Such an app.
QL1, does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork?
Negative control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes.
That is fast, like rocket fast.
It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Over.
3, 2, 1.
Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button, get mortgage.
Rocket.
Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org number 3030.
Another afternoon.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's movement on the Sierra Pacific Industries Shelton waterfront sawmill reconstruction. The site plan review application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located outside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes all of the proposed new standing structures. The comment period for the site plan review portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. The Shoreline Substantial Development Permit application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located inside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes the proposed riparian buffer areas, a portion of the site log deck, and a portion of the stormwater treatment facilities. The comment period for the Shoreline Substantial Development Permit portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Monday, April 11th. Materials submitted by Sierra Pacific Industries can be viewed on the City of Shelton's website. The city will not make a final determination on either land use permits until its comment period is over and the city has had an opportunity to assess comments received. Republican Kevin Schutte announced this week he's running for the Mason County Board of Commissioners, District 2. He hopes to succeed County Commissioner Tim Sheldon, who will not seek another term after 16 years of service. Schutte says he'll address issues including jobs and the economy, affordable housing, public safety, and open, transparent government. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen called into Daybreak with a more optimistic outlook on the end of the session, which is slated for next Thursday. Drew talked about the massive difference between the House and Senate supplemental budgets, about a $400 million difference.
The two budgets, the House budget and the Senate budget, and keep in mind these are the supplemental budgets, so all of these budgets are supposed to do are make adjustments to the existing budget based on revenue forecast and caseload work of agencies, and you make adjustments based on that. And so, having said that, one of the big points of contention that we have right now is the House Democrat budget has embarked on more policy changes, which has changed their budget to the tune of over $400 million, whereas the Senate budget has done a more traditional supplemental budget where it's made the adjustments. And so we're $400 million apart, which to you and I is a truckload of money in the legislature out of $38 billion. It's a workable figure. And so where we're at right now, both the Senate and the House are on the floor every day now until the end.
Drew also talked about the votes that are being taken as the House looks at Senate bills and vice versa. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
The Chad Benson Show.
How in the world are you going to pay for all that you want to do? And you can only tax people to a certain point. People who are smart, guess what? They get sick and tired of it, and they find other ways to do stuff. All of a sudden, you go from having a certain percentage of something to 100% of nothing.
The Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, live weekdays 3 to 6 on iFIBER One News Radio.
At Mason PUD3, we know that time changes all things, like phone numbers, mailing addresses, and email addresses, even names. PUD3 needs your correct account information for emergency contacts and online security. To make this fun, all PUD3 customers who update or confirm their account information by April 27th will have their names placed into a drawing for a free iPad mini. Go to masonpud3.org/account to learn more.
2-on-1 out. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball right side and through it. Finds the grass in right field. Robertson streaks to the third base. It's bobbled. It's bobbled, Brock. In right field by Renfroe. Robertson scores easily, and the Mariners add on. It's 4-1. Brock.
Boy, Robbie. Is that Brock Heward doing that?
I guess so. It's bobbled Brock. I heard that part. Or is it a bobble Brock?
Getting a little too excited there in spring training.
Yeah, first game.
So I guess that was Aaron Goldsmith and Brock Heward.
You know, I got to remember Aaron's name. It's been like third year or fourth year he's been with the team. I can never remember.
He must know another gold something. That
Goldfarb.
Gold Bond, another one.
Gold Bond, yeah. Go south. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's sports time.
Yep.
Here on iFIBER One News Radio, and playoff time as well for basketball, high school basketball. Tumwater T-Bird boys basketball team. Oh, my word. They're in Yakima. They're in the quarterfinals. They're against Ellensburg, and it goes into OT, and the T-Birds prevail 58-57 in the late hours of yesterday. Wow. Last game of the night didn't even tip off till about 9 o'clock, and then they went into overtime. But Tumwater prevails, and they continue their quest for a state championship in 2A basketball tonight against Shorecrest, who beat highly ranked River Ridge by 10 yesterday. So work is cut out for Tumwater today. Best of luck to them in their semifinal action. Girls basketball locally, Black Hills loses to Linden 59-44. The Mariners won for the second day in a row against the San Diego Padres, claiming a come-from-behind 6-5 win in front of a fan number count of 3,901. I think it was that Dr. Pepper guy was the one.
I want to see how many the Peoria Sports Complex holds here.
We shift our attention north to Maryvale Stadium, where the M's will take on Milwaukee, and Taiwan Walker gets the start for Seattle today. Mariners broadcast on iFIBER ONE Newsradio for 2016 starts tomorrow, when we have the Mariners playing against the LA Angels at noon, and then on Sunday, just before noon, we'll begin our coverage of the Mariners against the Texas Rangers, just like the old days.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a lot of fun. And finally, don't forget Gonzaga men's basketball in the WCC tournament tomorrow night at 9:30, taking on Portland. By all accounts, Gonzaga should get past Portland if the world stays in balance. And then they will move on Monday for a chance for the finals on Tuesday. So Monday's opponent, if the world stays in balance, in all likelihood would be Brigham Young, who takes on a lower seed tomorrow as well. And so if Brigham Young wins and Gonzaga wins, they play on Monday. Winner of that game, in all likelihood, would play for the WCC championship against St. Mary's, who has tied Gonzaga for the league championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your sports notes, and the weather this weekend, totally drenched or off and on? Be honest.
Off and on Saturday, drenched on Sunday.
Oh,
that's what we're looking at. Mid-50s, though, today. Half-inch of rain. Showers likely to start around 11:30. 50s do continue over the weekend, rain off and on, and the rain does look to last through next week. It is a little cloudy now and 36.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
All right, good morning to you. It's 7:12 at iFIBER ONE News Radio. The flood watch for the area does continue through Saturday morning. We got more heavy rounds of rain falling in this afternoon and tonight. Skoke River, you said looked a little high this morning coming in?
Yeah, it did. And by the way, they cut a bunch of trees down off the Pretty Canyon wall yesterday. It had stop-and-go traffic, which was worth it, though, because they took a lot of danger trees out of the equation, which is a peace of mind for us that commute.
So you think that's a good thing, then?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Where they did the new hillside, just north of there were still a lot of trees sticking up, and they'd had a couple drop this winter already, so they just went ahead and took a bunch of trees out yesterday and got rid of them. Thank you, state, for that.
7:12 at iFIBER ONE on the website, iFIBER1newsradio.com. Jeff Chu has put together a nice piece featuring Shelton native Kara Sampson, growing up with epilepsy, who raises money for the cause through her Shelton retail shop. Check that video out on iFIBER1newsradio.com.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Tax deductions you may not know about. I'm ABC's Richard Davies with today's tax tip. One of the most frequently overlooked tax deductions.
People forgetting to report state taxes that they've paid.
Those are deductible on your federal return, says tax accountant Janice Heyman.
And also we have different property taxes. They may not think of tax paid on land outside of their main home.
Most people know that donations to a registered charity can be claimed as tax write-offs, but make sure you document what's been spent.
You really do want to go through your receipts, add up all your actual charitable donations. I think people are really missing out on a full deduction here because they're just guesstimating.
Long-term health insurance is also deductible.
It would be considered a deduction for medical expense, but also if you're self-employed, it would be considered a self-employed health deduction.
Some states offer tax credits, too, for long-term health insurance payments. With today's tax tip, Richard Davies, ABC News.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than preparing for retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, I agree. And I'd like to help. I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Karen Shade. Together we can give your long-term retirement strategy the attention it deserves. Stop by our office at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC. The Tom Hartman Show, live 9 to noon, weekdays on iFIBER One News Radio.
If you're afraid of school shootings, fine. Put him near the outer perimeter of the school. Put him in front of the school. Build a little guardhouse or something. Stick him in it. But a cop to deal with discipline problems? It's turning a school into a prison. It's teaching kids how to be afraid of authority figures. It's teaching them, oh, yes, officer, no, officer. Oh, please don't beat the crap out of her. Oh, wow, look at him beat the crap out of her. This is so wrong.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
I do. I do. And I know where he used to work.
Yeah.
And I don't go there. 716 at iFIBER One for multiple reasons, actually.
We'll leave that conversation for another time. 7:15, as Jeff had said. It is Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
You hear us with our conversations, but you definitely could see, watch our lips.
You could read our lips and you'd know who we were talking about.
Yikes, I hope not.
Workers have started removing nuclear waste from a leaking tank at Hanford, where they glow. Let's see. Today's the state's deadline.
So you might as well start working. When's the deadline? Today?
So they got started.
We better get one going.
That's amazing. They started on the deadline.
Got a long day. Well, if they go past 5 tonight, it's double time.
Tri-City Herald reporting the Hanford workers began pumping waste from the oldest double-shell tank yesterday. Tank's leaking, by the way, radioactive waste into the space between its inner and its outer
Did you
shells.
hear that the wind was blowing little particles of waste? That was last week, I think. Here's a tough story out of Spokane as well, sticking on the other side of the mountains. They've arrested a teenage boy there, stabbed his mother during an argument over doing chores.
Did we not all get into arguments about chores when we were kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we'd lose that argument, and then we'd just go do it.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
That's kind of how it's supposed to work. And that's a little exceptional.
Stabbing over chores.
And then another sad story out of Centralia this morning. A mother is the sole survivor of a house fire, killed 3 children. This was last night in southwest Washington, Centralia. Police there say the mother and children were the only people in the 2-story home when emergency responders arrived. It was early morning blaze, and police say the investigators are talking with the mother to try to establish the cause. Still undetermined. Wow.
7:18 here at iFIBER One News Radio. On this day in 1974, the first issue of People magazine was launched.
Yes.
Can you take a guess who they would put on the cover of People magazine?
Well, I cheated.
March of 1974.
I cheated, and I saw that earlier in your prep stuff. And so it was Mia Farrow.
Right.
But if memory serves, I think she was Mrs. Frank Sinatra at the time.
Oh, well, that would probably be why.
Make it a little bit different, Good reason to have. And Mia Farrow was, in 1974, a pretty hot commodity for modeling. Look at
what an interesting cover.
Yeah, see, now that doesn't look like a Great Gatsby type thing, doesn't it?
Mia Farrow in Gatsby, the year's next big movie.
Yeah. Huh. She was hot. She was a hot commodity in 1974. Absolutely.
What an interesting cover of a
and that was the magazine. first edition of People.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a go-to still magazine. It's very popular.
Well, in 1986, fresh off the heels of his stint teaching at summer school, the People's Sexiest Man of the Year, Leroy Jethro Gibbs, who just signed on for another 2 years of NCIS.
Did he? All right.
So DiNozzo's leaving
now, and what's her name left?
Yes, Stephanie feels that the show is kind of waning.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to maintain the chemistry without DiNozzo there.
Oh, man, you know it. I think he is the peanut butter in that sandwich.
He is.
Yeah.
He's great. And not that McGee and the new girl are not bad, but
No.
DiNozzo's got the lighthearted.
Now, the new girls went through a divorce in her private life.
Yes.
So.
Private life on the show.
Yeah. So now I wonder if her and McGee are going to.
Well, he's got Delilah.
Oh, yeah, Delilah. In the wheelchair. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
great
right.
shows on
They're engaged or something. Yeah, okay, so that's right.
It's a great show on CBS.
It is a
lot
good
of great shows.
There is.
I don't know why. The comedies are a little suspect, but the dramas, bar none.
Yeah, comedies, are we supposed to have to suffer through a half an hour episode of a comedy? Like, I'm waiting for a laugh. I'm waiting to laugh. I'm waiting. Oh, show's over.
I mean, they got you. They got you the whole half hour. They don't care if you laugh or not. So are you sticking with it to see if you laugh?
Yeah. And I'll only do that one time, and then I probably maybe 6 months or something before I ever go back to that show again.
Well, I mean, people do laugh.
At the funniest things. Silly things.
On certain things that those shows say.
Yeah.
I don't find many of them humorous.
I don't either.
Like
That's what
Two Broke Girls, those shows.
It's just like,
come on.
Like they're trying too hard.
I would say so.
What's that one that's the most popular comedy now?
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. But, I've got a cousin, 3.5, man. 2.5. I love that show.
So that's, I mean, there are...
So there are people, different tastes for different people. Yeah.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
Hey, baseball fans, it's that time of year again to join iFIBER One News Radio for Seattle Mariners baseball. Baseball is part of the fabric of summertime in the Northwest, and with people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities like camping, fishing, hiking, and boating, the only place to listen to the Seattle Mariners is on iFIBER One News Radio. People ask what they remember about a business when they have a need, and they always remember the name that they hear, the one that is most relevant in their mind. Advertising makes your business relevant and part of the community. Your business can be part of the Mariners broadcast each day or each inning of every game this summer by signing up now. Any business that signs up now to advertise with the Mariners gets up to 300 free scheduled magnets. Call iFIBER One News Radio today at 360-426-1030 and sign up to be part of the Mariners broadcast team.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
7:22 at iFIBER One News Radio, Daybreak, and good morning to you. Jeff and Dale here, and early celebrations of DJ D's big birthday tomorrow. Cinco de Marcho, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Marcho is not the word. It's not Spanish for Marco.
Marco?
It could be Marco. Cinco de Marco. So,
hold on.
What's going on there?
So 50 years ago today, I couldn't sleep. So excited. Because I was going to get my driver's license tomorrow.
So
I think that's like the biggest birthday I've ever had in my life. It was a Thursday. I mean, I remember
I was going to check the day.
It was a Thursday. I left school early. Not real early, but a little bit early. Dad picked me up, went over to the driver's licensing testing place.
How far away was
it?
It
was right in Montesano, right on Broadway, right on Main Street there, and went over there and took my test. And by 3:30, 3:45 that afternoon, boom.
Did you have to do a drive test and a written test?
Yes, drive and written test.
Obviously not on a computer.
But I was ready. I was ready like months before my birthday. I wanted to get that driver's license. Saved up my money, my life savings, that Saturday, and bought my first car, $80.
Yeah.
10-year-old Ford, a 56 Ford.
For $80.
Yeah, for $80. And it was my life savings.
Did you know the person? I mean,
yeah,
it sounds like
it was
good
my
deal.
buddy's dad. It was his extra car. It was his old work car.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
a 56 Fairlane?
No, it wasn't a Fairlane. It was just a 56
Just
Ford.
a Ford.
Yeah. 4-door was the only drawback. I wanted a 2-door, but I lived with the 4-door.
Not sporty enough. You're too young to have a sporty car.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, that was like the biggest event.
Gas
for all
price?
the birthdays and all the years that I've been around.
Peaked at 16.
Peaked at 16.
Buy another 56 for $80.
Yeah, go buy another one of those.
Yeah, I couldn't get a 56 for $80 now.
I doubt you could even get one that's just the bare bones.
But you think about that. That was only a 10-year-old car, and I bought it for $80.
It's amazing.
So that would be like the equivalent of getting a 2006 car for getting a 2006 Ford for like
$500.
$500.
Yeah, sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
Gas price?
Oh, I can't even remember. I remember selling. I went to work at Pinger's Texaco. I'm ringing some bells for some of the old Grays Harbor people.
So
right
that you
now.
run over, ding, ding. You got to run out, wash everything.
Oh, yeah.
full
Check
service.
oil. Yeah. Learned all that stuff. Learned how to change tires and fix flats. And
that's awesome.
Full service gas station. But I think I remember selling gas for something like 25 cents a gallon or something. Then 35 cents a gallon, something like that.
I mean, now it's only what? $1.90. That's not a lot of difference.
There was no freeway to the beach.
No.
So everybody had to drive through Montesano to get to the ocean. On the weekends, we'd send them up to Lake Sylvia to wait for the ferry, which was a cruel trick because there was no ferry.
Oh, you're going to want to head up.
How do we get to the ocean from here? Oh, you go down there to that blinking light, take a right, and there'll be a ferry about every 30 minutes. Jeez. Smart alley kids. I tell you.
People heading out to the ocean this weekend to go a little digging going on.
There's some clam
digs.
Well, yeah.
Today is the 5th, and today's the 4th. So we'll start with tomorrow. 0.3 tide at Mocrox, -2, -5, -6 over the weekend.
Those are good tides.
Next week.
Minus tides. That's what you look for.
I was talking at the dentist actually the other day. I was listening into a conversation happening at the stand next to me, and they were talking about heading out to the ocean and getting ready to get there 15. You know, you got to get your first 15 regardless of the size and all that stuff.
And if you crush the shell, so be it. You got to still take it.
That's your problem. Do better next time.
Yeah.
But if you got how many pieces of clam would you say are in a clam chowder? A standard bowl of clam. So if you get 15 per person, how long would that last?
Oh, gosh. With one limit of 15 clams, you can make a big batch of chowder.
Big batch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm also thinking of if I were to take that and bread it and fry it myself for a dinner.
Yeah, fritters.
15 would probably be just 2 servings. No? 7 apiece? Is that too many?
Yeah, that's about right. It's about right. They're not as big as they used to be.
But you get, 3 or 4 people in your group to come on down. Now you're looking at 60, 75
Oh, you're
per
having
person.
a clam feed now.
And you better start calling your friends because you got lots of clams. So that's what's happening this weekend at Mocrox and Long Beach as well. Long Beach actually goes through the whole rest of the month of March, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It is March 4th here on iFIBER One News Radio, and Mary Lynn Foster has the latest in local news. One of the stories she talks about is the end of the session for the legislature that's coming up on the 10th, and we're hopeful that it is going to happen, and all likelihood they'll come to some sorts of agreement, I think. People really want to get out there.
If I was a betting man, I say they get out in time, just for what you just said, because it's an election year.
It's an election year. I would say that as well.
Programs that are near and dear to our region, to our county, certainly, and we have, and we'll have Dr. Alex Apostle in a little later on this morning, but homeless students is a big concern in our area, in our school district, and the state Senate yesterday passed a bill that would create grant programs to provide support for rising numbers of homeless students. House Bill 1682 passed 42-6 Thursday, heads back to the House for consideration. It was tweaked a little, amended, if you will, in the Senate. The grant programs part would help school districts hire more homeless liaisons and provide homeless students assistance with their housing, their transportation, case management, emergency shelters, all that sort of thing. State Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction reports over 35,000 homeless youth attended public schools this last year, and that's up from 32,000 the year before. So it's still growing, even at that big number, 1,000 a year. That's a lot. Yeah. The count's been rising since it began in 2009. Office did say, though, that some of the increase might be due to more accurate data.
Oh, well,
they're more accurate about it. Which is kind of which we found over the last several years, is that people are being able to count better who's actually being impacted by the economy like this.
Is it a third of Shelton students?
That's what 30, somewhere like 30%, yeah.
And may not have a place to sleep every night. A third of the students.
That's amazing. Wow. It's amazing.
This coming week, we have the Spring Community Pride Night coming up on the 9th. It's a Wednesday night where we'll celebrate and look forward to the spring sports, including all the athletes and coaches and teachers who are all part of that. Again, Dr. Apostle in about 45 minutes to talk with us on that one. 7:30 now, and the latest in local news is coming up next.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Local news brought to you by the Lucky Eagle Casino. Visit online at luckyeagle.com.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's movement on the Sierra Pacific Industries Shelton waterfront sawmill reconstruction. The site plan review application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located outside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes all of the proposed new standing structures. The comment period for the site plan review portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. The Shoreline Substantial Development Permit application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located inside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes the proposed riparian buffer areas, a portion of the site log deck, and a portion of the stormwater treatment facilities. The comment period for the Shoreline Substantial Development Permit portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Monday, April 11th. Materials submitted by Sierra Pacific Industries can be viewed on the City of Shelton's website. The city will not make a final determination on either land use permits until its comment period is over and the city has had an opportunity to assess comments received. Republican Kevin Schutte announced this week he's running for the Mason County Board of Commissioners, District 2. He hopes to succeed County Commissioner Tim Sheldon, who will not seek another term after 16 years of service. Schutte says he'll address issues including jobs and the economy, affordable housing, public safety, and open, transparent government. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen called into Daybreak with a more optimistic outlook on the end of the session, which is slated for next Thursday. Drew talked about the massive difference between the House and Senate supplemental budgets, about a $400 million difference.
The two budgets, the House budget and the Senate budget, and keep in mind these are the supplemental budgets, so all of these budgets are supposed to do are make adjustments to the existing budget based on revenue forecast and caseload work of agencies, and you make adjustments based on that. And so, having said that, one of the big points of contention that we have right now is the House Democrat budget has embarked on more policy changes, which has changed their budget to the tune of over $400 million, whereas the Senate budget has done a more traditional supplemental budget where it's made the adjustments. And so we're $400 million apart, which to you and I is a truckload of money in the legislature out of $38 billion. It's a workable figure. And so where we're at right now, both the Senate and the House are on the floor every day now until the end.
Drew also talked about the votes that are being taken as the House looks at Senate bills and vice versa. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
You can guess the results, and the Kings with a big road win. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. Steph Curry wasn't at his three-point best last night against the Thunder, but he got plenty of help from his friends by the bay.
Draymond, middle of the floor, left side, Clay to the rim. Clay Thompson with a two-hand slam, and the Thunder need a timeout.
On KNBR, Warriors tied an NBA record by winning their 44th straight regular season home game, 121-106 over Oklahoma City. Curry scored 33. Kawhi Leonard with a clutch basket in the final minute in New Orleans.
Around that screen, straightaway three. Kawhi not. Wow. Kawhi Leonard with a huge three.
On WOAI, Leonard scored 30. Spurs held off the Pelicans 94-86 for their 7th straight win, and a significant road victory for the Kings in Dallas.
Out to Bellinelli, uncovered for three. He's got another one. It's his 3rd triple tonight.
On KHTK, Kings knock off the Mavericks 104-101. Sacramento ends a 22-game regular season losing streak in Big D. Top 25 college hoops, a nail-biter in Tucson as Arizona's Gabe York knocked down 2 huge threes in the final minute. Back things up a bit. They want York to come off a screen. He gets it. He turns. He shoots a three for the lead. He's got it. On the Arizona IMG Sports Network, and the 18th-ranked Wildcats complete the comeback win over number 25 California 64-61. Maryland beat Illinois 81-55. To the NHL, Dwight is the king of all kings.
King in all alone. Takes a shot. Scores! Beautiful play by Dwight King.
On KABC, Kings crowned the Canadians 3-2 in Los Angeles. The Islanders tied at 3 in Winnipeg.
Franz down the slot, shoots, knocked down in front, Oposo the rebound, he scores! Kyle Oposo, the overtime winner for New York.
On WRHU-FM, Islanders 4-3 over the Jets. NFL notes the Texans released franchise rushing leader Arian Foster after 7 seasons. First round of the Davis Cup in Australia, where the Americans and host country are tied at 1. The Bryan brothers play doubles on Saturday. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
The calendar has moved to March. Weather is starting to get better. Days are getting longer. March 20th, the first day of spring. And with spring, attention turns to America's pastime, baseball. Seattle Mariners baseball. iFIBER ONE News Radio is your home for Seattle Mariners baseball all season long. You can listen on AM 1030 or FM 1033. The South Sound home for Mariners baseball this season is iFIBER ONE News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
Ferraris.
I don't know what that was.
For iFIBER ONE News Radio. I'm Daniel Hubbard. Jeff Slakey.
Hello.
You okay?
Delicious chocolate cupcake at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Playoff time for high school basketball kids. I'll tell you what, you missed a good one. Tumwater T-Birds, the boys basketball team, beat Ellensburg 58-57 in overtime. State 2A quarterfinals over in Yakima last night late. They didn't even tip off till 9 o'clock. Tumwater now plays in the semis against Shorecrest, who knocked off highly rated River Ridge by 10 points in the game preceding the Tumwater victory. So a big game tonight. Shorecrest and the River Ridge boys. Locally in girls basketball, the Black Hills girls lose to Linden 59-44. Mariners won for the second day in a row against the San Diego Padres, claiming a come-from-behind 6-5 win in front of 3,900 fans in Peoria Stadium. Our first broadcast of Mariner baseball is tomorrow against the LA Angels, pregame at noon, and then another Mariners game on Sunday as well against the Texas Rangers at 11:55. We might mention that Sunday night after the Mariners game, we'll have another presidential debate for you on iFIBER ONE. We've teamed up with CNN and Westwood One to bring you the Democratic debate from Michigan at about 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. Gonzaga men's basketball at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. A win for the Zags, and they play for the semifinals in the WCC, and then a win on Monday night puts them into the West Coast Conference Championships, and perhaps a chance at the NCAAs. And that is sports notes for you this time around. Jeff Slakey has the weather forecast.
Yeah, it's 7:38 now, mid-50s today, over a half inch of rain likely, and the showers expecting to start around 11:30 or so. We are also seeing some flood watches in effect continuing on with the amounts of rain we've had at the Skoke River near Potlatch. 50s continue through the weekend, and rain will be off and on, and it'll be likely to last through next week.
Now, from the iFIBER ONE News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor. Your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at iFIBER 1 at 7:39. AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Also on the Facebook at facebook.com/1030KMAS. And we've got a ski report from Chuck Devine in just a few moments.
All right. So I guess the question is now, is Iran still have intentions of building a nuclear weapon? But they've kind of postponed it a while we had sanctions against them and we cut a deal. And
there's been a deal that alleviated some of the sanctions in return for more monitoring.
Okay.
Basically, I think.
So Iranian state television reporting this week that the Republic has invited Boeing to negotiate a possible aircraft purchase. The broadcaster reports the transportation minister gave no timeline for the visit, but did say that U.S. officials did give Boeing the green light for commercial talks with Iran.
Wow.
Boeing did not immediately return a request for comment as of early today.
So that must be one of the sanctions that was lifted.
Apparently.
Being able to buy aircraft.
Yeah, you can buy airplanes, but
who knows? Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow. Should Boeing do that or no, you think?
Well, that was kind of my question, in a moral sense. Should you do business with Iran?
In a stockholder sense, isn't it the duty of the company to help the stockholders make more money, and this would make more money for them, no?
Sure, absolutely true. Absolutely true.
But there could be a backlash.
Yeah, and what would the plane be used for? But you're not supposed to ask those questions.
No, you can't ask. It's like a service dog.
Is that a dog?
Keep it
Is that an airplane?
vague.
Yeah. You're not using that to carry weapons, are you? No.
Can't ask
that question.
Carry blank. Yes, we will be carrying
blanks. Unbelievable.
So that's
as the world turns.
That's what's
I
going
think they
on
had
there.
a daytime soap opera named that one.
Sands of the Hourglass?
Yes.
7:41 at iFIBER 1 News Radio. Good morning to you. We have a debate for you coming up on Sunday night. Big debate last night. Everybody's in Michigan, and they were at the Fox Theater, which was beautiful. Man, I don't know if they cleaned that thing up or if it's always looked like that.
It was nice. Very impressive. Good crowd.
It was the Fox Theater.
I like those folks from Detroit. They had a lot of energy.
They got things to say in Michigan. Those Michiganders.
Yeah, Michiganders. Yes, sir.
It was quite an interesting night. There are elections happening tomorrow, and then this upcoming Tuesday, and then by the 15th, should be all said and done for the most part. If Rubio doesn't win Florida and Kasich doesn't win Ohio, then looks like it'll be Trump v. Clinton in the general. So got that going for you, which is something.
Yeah.
All right. Cam Chancellor, did you hear about him?
I did hear that he was not treated very well while speculating on an investment in Redmond.
That's exactly what it was. Break time now. We'll tell you what he was getting involved with the other day.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER 1 News Radio.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. At Habitat for Humanity stores, you'll find amazing bargains on discounted home improvement supplies, gently used furniture, and so much more. And when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on iFIBER One News Radio. Nonprofits post your upcoming events on iFIBER1newsradio.com. The next SHS Community Pride Night is scheduled for Wednesday, March 9th, 5:30 p.m. in the Mini Dome at Felton High School. Be sure to attend and show support for the outstanding students, athletes, and families. For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Time now for your latest KMAS ski report. We're kind of between storms, so Friday, a nice day to get out there. Still plenty of powdery snow, too, when you get away from the groom. You're going on some of the glades and the steeps and the bumps, and you're getting that nice, soft snow. Summit Snoqualmie Central, softening spring conditions at 28 trails. It's 20 slopes for Summit Snoqualmie Alpental. They still have packed powder. Crystal Mountain got a few inches of fresh snow with 56 trails, and Mission Ridge is 100%. Mount Baker stands to get a bit of snow this weekend. They have 1,000 acres of terrain, 38 groom trails in very nice shape. Summit at Snoqualmie East and West are both back for Saturday. We'll get some showers and some snow showers, too. Mount Bachelor is 100% with packed powder on a firm base. Schweitzer, Idaho picked up several inches of fresh snow this week with 92 trails. Sun Valley with 117 slopes. Big Mountain Groom cruisers will soften with spring conditions on Saturday. I'm Chuck Devine for KMAS News Radio AM 1030 and FM 103.3.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio, KMAS.
Local kid does good.
Pretty amazing. All right, here's a story that, breaking news. You can only go to one source for breaking news.
Now, didn't we just have an anniversary of the O.J. Simpson trial thing?
Yes, so yesterday we were talking about it because of Rodney King, but then we were talking about the show that's on FX right now.
Right. Okay, so now here's some news about the O.J. Simpson
A construction worker found a knife buried on the perimeter of the former O.J. Simpson estate, currently being tested by cops in a top-secret investigation, law enforcement sources tell TMZ. So we're told, so this is the story breaking now on TMZ, it's amazing. Construction worker found a knife several years ago. Could be from several years ago, all the way back to 1998 when the house was demolished. It was a folding buck knife. So the construction worker found the knife, and while they're destroying the house, there's a cop out there probably monitoring traffic. He takes it to the cop and says, I just found this knife. Turns out the cop, who was a traffic guy at the time, off duty, working security for a movie shoot at across the street. So he just took the knife home and kept it. And kept it and kept it and kept it. In late January of this year, the cop retired. He contacted a friend in the homicide division, and the cop told his friend about the knife.
I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but
he says, I was going to get it framed to put on the wall. He wanted his friend to get the record number, like case number blank, for the Nicole Brown Simpson Ronald Goldman murder case.
So he could have that part as the.
He's going to put that engraving on the frame.
Oh my gosh!
So the friend.
So, wait a minute.
Was like, well, this could be something.
Yeah.
Told his superiors. The brass was outraged that the cop didn't turn the knife over ever.
And he's like, what do you mean?
He eventually did. Being tested, excuse me, for hair and fingerprints.
Yeah. There might be some DNA underneath the
There could be some DNA.
Wow.
One source familiar with the investigation tells the cops who eyeballed the knife think it could have blood residue on it, but it could be rusted at the same time.
Right.
So this is a top secret investigation that's going on, but happening now in LA.
Holy cow.
If that story couldn't get any stranger, it just did.
So now here's a 2016 ingredient being added.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, by the way, what's the number on that case file? Like, you couldn't just Google that somewhere.
Right.
He would never have to deal with anybody.
He wouldn't have ever told anybody.
We never would have known
except for his family would have said, you know, my dad had this, or my grandpa had this knife that was found at the, you know, like 50 years from now or something.
Yeah.
Boy.
Crazy. What a weird story that is.
It's the story that won't go away.
Thank goodness for TMZ. I don't know if anybody's ever said that.
I don't know if you are right. But maybe nobody else is even covering that. aspect of
Well,
the story.
we are breaking.
We're breaking news.
Things.
And then Cam Chancellor
tweeted Wednesday night that he had the cops called on him while he was looking to buy a gym. So Cam Chancellor said he walked up to the doors at the facility, closed at the time. There were employees inside.
Yeah.
And they felt that they were threatened enough to call the cops. So this is in Redmond, and he's looking to buy a gym. He does a thing called, he runs fitness boot camps for women.
Right.
And so he's looking to have a gym. So he goes there to get info on this gym, and the two ladies inside called the cops.
Yeah, they wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah.
They wouldn't look at him.
Trying to rob the place because he was looking into the glass asking for help. So he took pictures of these folks.
Yeah.
And he very well could have posted all of this stuff, but
he didn't. He was above that.
Took the high road
thankfully.
here.
Yeah.
Good thing the cops know I'm a good guy, and stealing isn't in his blood, he says. He was mad because he wanted a number to call, and they were just waving him off. And then this I'm sure did not sit well with the mayor of Redmond. I guess I won't put a gym in Redmond. I'm not qualified.
Yeah. That's bad PR for Redmond.
Bad PR for the city of Redmond.
You know.
Amazing.
I'm sorry, but your athletes can't walk around in their uniforms all the time, so you know who they are.
Right. And we don't know what their faces look like because they got masks on. And his has got the big
bubble
screen shield, so you really can't see him. Well, although to be fair, if a Mariner walked in here right now, I probably wouldn't be able to recognize him either. And they just wear ball caps.
That's true.
Unless it was one of the ones from the signs over there.
That's true. Well, hey, you look like that guy, Danny Farquhar. You look like Danny Farquhar.
I mean, he was maybe a Mariner.
You look like Tommy James.
We'll take a break.
You look like John Turno. Look at our wall of fame over there. My word.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Fresh produce has been hard to come by over the winter, but that is about to change. A look at what's in season for March on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Friday, March 4th. It is the 64th day of the year, and coaching legend Newt Rockne was born on this day. With springtime on the horizon, your choice of in-season produce is about to get much better. And better yet, the earliest spring vegetables are often regarded as superfoods, rich in potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. You'll often find turnips near the top of that list. Snag a few when they appear in the produce aisle and enjoy them roasted with carrots and sweet potatoes. Don't pass up fresh radishes. They're packed with vitamin C and add a nice spicy crunch as a salad topping. And nothing says taste of spring like fresh, tender spears of asparagus, one of the best sources of vitamin K, important for bone health. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Good morning. It's about 10 to 8.
Eating the beast.
At iFIBER ONE News Radio, to be sure.
All right. Well, you know, we've got a deep port in Seattle. Yes. International port in Tacoma has joined forces now, have dredged their port and have made themselves available to big ships, container ships. And now Everett, the port there, officials are looking to get started on a $10 million project to remove contaminated sediment in Port Gardner, making way for larger cargo ships. According to the Daily Herald, the project is part of the port's $313 million plan to extend the Pacific terminal to handle bigger cargo ships by the year 2020, which is just around the corner.
I was just kind of seeing
one more presidential election away.
I was just looking to see if I could find some of the benefits of a deep water port. Now, obviously, we saw that huge cargo ship, the Ben Franklin, come into Seattle.
It's like the Grand Canyon. You look at it, I think if you were in person and you saw it, you can't even believe what you're seeing.
Yeah. Gigantic. So they've so I was just kind of seeing if I could find anything, but it does open the ability to bring in those large cargo ships. I know that at the Port of Olympia there is a large cargo ship in there right now, but I don't think it's anything, and I don't know if they even have the capability to take anything as massive as that.
Right, and they only have room for
I think just one, just on the one side, kind of by, well, you know where it is, downtown. Pretty interesting. So that's kind of cool to add another. So then if they have more problems in LA, although I guess it was a West Coast
union
thing.
Yeah.
But if there's any problems that they can't make it anywhere, definitely the ability to stop up around our parts for sure.
Well, this may all backfire on them if we bring all the jobs back home again and we don't have to
what are we going to
import or export.
What will we be importing?
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing. All American made all the time.
I got some.
I don't think that'll happen real quickly, though. They're probably safe with this.
Overalls the other day?
Yeah.
Man, they're comfy.
Dickies?
They're not Dickies. They're Liberty.
Okay.
So I checked.
Are they the bibs?
Oh, yeah, I got the bibs.
So they're comfy, aren't they?
Man, I put
you
that
know,
thing
you look
on.
dorky wearing them, but they're comfortable. So
I wore them around the house Wednesday, and then I wore them to empty bowls to kind of break them in a little.
Oh, okay. All right.
Toby was giving me a lot of guff.
Yeah.
But it was comfy. So anyways, I checked. They're called Liberty, and they're overalls. And so
Liberty made in America.
Made in Vietnam.
Oh.
If I would have, I should have looked a little closer before I bought them, but
that's all right. Still, Liberty. You had your mind.
So
you had your heart.
I almost wore them today.
Your heart in the right place.
I knew you were going to be here, so I didn't. 7:55.
I would have said only something.
And iFIBER One. I have to get ready to start working in the yard. Spring is here.
Absolutely.
Dale's hay fever is going crazy. My allergies are going nuts.
Yeah.
It is definitely almost spring. 16 days from right now.
It's so close, you can smell it.
And that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm coughing
Holy
about.
cow. All right, that flower shop owner in Richland is going to get her day in court. The state Supreme Court will hear an appeal from Baronelle Stutzman. Her attorney says that she referred the customers, she ran into trouble for refusing to provide services for a same-sex wedding in 2013. Her attorney now says that she referred the customers to other local florists if you want, and they'll go to them. And if that ruling stands, it would infringe on her religious freedoms. So, big topic of discussion in the last couple of debates.
Yeah, they did bring it up.
It's all about this Richland, Washington flower shop owner. And
they say cupcakes, though. They use a cupcake example for most of the ones that I hear on TV.
Yeah, I do hear that a lot, too. But I have heard flower shop.
It's the same deal.
But it's the same concept. So, the coolest head that prevailed, in my opinion, last night was Kasich.
Always.
If
for the last year,
I wouldn't do karate chops all the time. I kind of like him.
He does do a lot of. And is it bedhead, or is that what his hair always looks like?
Well, in the back, it's always messed up. I don't know what that is.
You know why? It's because he's more focused on fixing the country than his hair.
You're absolutely right. He is not he's not a glamour puss. He doesn't. I doubt he looks in the mirror hardly at all. They probably go, Mr. Kasich, you need to comb your hair before you go out there, huh? What?
Look, you're the governor of Ohio. He used to be on Fox News. He used to be he used to have a show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
After he was in the, he always his claim to fame is that he balanced the budget in the 90s with Bill and Newt.
Well, that was the last time it was balanced.
After that, he was on Fox News for a while. Then he left there to run for Ohio.
Governor, and he got that job, which a lot of his opponents poo-poo, but he's done well by those people. We'll see. Isn't the Ohio primary is going to be next week with that?
Yeah, I think it's the 15th with that and Florida. Both of those, I believe.
Very key ingredients as we move forward for the Republican side.
Winner take all.
Bernie still going to stay in the race, and he and Hillary will be on the radio here Sunday night after the Mariners game.
Yes.
Talk about all-star programming.
Yeah, busy weekend.
Man.
The other story making news around the Northwest is that the embattled, I like that word, Auditor Troy Kelly, whose criminal trial starts March 14th, won't face a recall election. The state Supreme Court upheld a Pierce County judge's decision blocking a citizen-led recall attempt. This is from the Olympian this morning. The High Court ruled unanimously that the recall petition failed to include facts supporting its accusations. It was put forth by a former state lawmaker from Kirkland. The petition avoids Kelly's alleged crimes, instead focuses on accusations that Kelly improperly hired a former business associate at the auditor's office, that he failed to do enough to investigate Sound Transit. The guy who put forth this petition is a longtime critic of Sound Transit. The petition also charges Kelly with failing to live in Olympia as required by state constitution.
I didn't know about that.
I didn't ever hear about that one either. So we'll see what's going on there. That was a big story that's kind of been going below the surface of the legislature, the legislative session that continues to go on until Thursday. Hopefully the 10th should be the last day.
I'm thinking they're going to get done in time.
They'll get done.
Yeah, somehow, some miracle. I got to get back home. Burns hotter during this year's session than next year's session.
Yeah.
For some reason. All right, sad note out of Centralia this morning. A mother, sole survivor of a house fire, killed 3 children overnight. And according to reports, the mother and children were the only ones in the 2-story home when emergency responders arrived this morning. Centralia police say investigators are talking with the mother, trying to determine the cause of the blaze. How sad.
8 o'clock here at iFIBER One News Radio. ABC News with ABC News. I don't know. Then Mary Lynn Foster just after that on iFIBER One News Radio.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
The Chad Benson Show, live weekdays from 3 to 6 on iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 1033, KMAS Shelton.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Now is an excellent time to find a job. Employers hired 242,000 new workers last month, more than analysts expected. But J.J. Kinahan, chief strategist at TD Ameritrade, says the kinds of jobs being created aren't good ones.
It's often a lower paying job relying on tips, etc. Those aren't exactly the building blocks of a solid economy. The other thing, we expected to lose jobs in mining. We also lost jobs in manufacturing. Not a positive.
The numbers also show more people started looking for work again as unemployment held steady at 4.9%. Donald Trump tangled with Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz and John Kasich in a fiery Detroit debate that disintegrated into childhood playground taunts. Cruz asked viewers, is this the kind of debate you want to see? However, ABC's Ryan Burrows says despite the divisiveness, it ended on a note of unity.
In one of the final questions of the Republican debate on Fox News Channel, the candidates were asked if they would support the Republican presidential nominee, even if it is Donald Trump. All agreed.
I'll support the Republican nominee.
Yes, because I gave my word that I would.
Sometimes he makes it a little bit hard, but I will support whoever is the Republican nominee for president.
Trump was asked a similar question.
Even if it's not me?
His response?
Yes, I will.
Theories about a possible brokered convention have been growing. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Detroit.
Teenage college hopefuls are taking the new revised SATs for the first time. They're designed to test core knowledge rather than just a list of facts that they know are included in the test. Media mogul Rupert Murdoch got married to model and actress Jerry Hall in London. It's his 4th marriage and her 2nd, sort of. She and former beau Mick Jagger traded vows in a Hindu ceremony in Bali, but during divorce proceedings, it was declared invalid. A New York woman accused of fashioning a fake license plate out of cardboard is in jail on $400 bail. Officials in Buffalo say it didn't even look real. She's charged with possessing a fake instrument. This is ABC News.
Honey, I'm really worried about our retirement funds.
Oh, me too. We lost so much value in the recession in the stock market. I'm worried we won't have enough to retire.
Jim next door told me that he had set up a new kind of IRA with a gold-silver group. He said how simple and safe it was. It's a private storage IRA, and we could have real gold and silver in our hands.
Really? You mean we can actually see it and touch it?
Absolutely. Jim said we could have all the benefits of an IRA to help build our retirement income. Bottom line, we would own a real tangible asset. asset. And we would have the security of knowing we're protected no matter what the economy does. What do you think?
I think we need to find out how to get our own private storage IRA. We need to call the Gold Silver Group right now.
Are you ready to protect your future? Call 800-295-6803 now to find out how easy and safe it is to set up a private storage IRA with Gold Silver Group and find out how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. All transactions are privately delivered and fully insured. Please call us now. 800-295-6803. 800-295-6803.
The final coroner's report is out on the death of Whitney Houston's daughter. ABC's Aaron Katursky has the readout.
More than a year after Bobby Christina Brown was found face down in a bathtub in her home outside Atlanta, the medical examiner said immersion in water associated with drug intoxication caused her death. Her death was clearly not due to natural causes, the medical examiner said, but could not determine whether it was a suicide, homicide, or accident. Marijuana, alcohol, cocaine, morphine, and a sedative were found in her body. She was discovered in the townhouse she shared with Nick Gordon. He faces a $10 million wrongful death lawsuit from Brown's estate. Aaron Katursky, ABC News.
Harvard's law school may change its shield symbol because of its ties to a slaveholder. A committee of faculty, students, and staff are recommending it be ditched because it includes images from the family crest of Isaac Royal Jr. Royal, a wealthy merchant who donated his estate to create the first law professorship at Harvard, made much of his money in the slave trade. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
From the iFIBER ONE Newsradio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's movement on the Sierra Pacific Industries Shelton Waterfront sawmill reconstruction. The site plan review application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located outside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes all of the proposed new standing structures. The comment period for the site plan review portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. The Shoreline Substantial Development Permit application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located inside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes the proposed riparian buffer areas, a portion of the site log deck, and a portion of the stormwater treatment facilities. The comment period for the Shoreline Substantial Development Permit portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Monday, April 11th. Materials submitted by Sierra Pacific Industries can be viewed on the City of Shelton's website. The city will not make a final determination on either land use permits until its comment period is over and the city has had an opportunity to assess comments received. Republican Kevin Schutte announced this week he's running for the Mason County Board of Commissioners, District 2. He hopes to succeed County Commissioner Tim Sheldon, who will not seek another term after 16 years of service. Schutte says he'll address issues including jobs and the economy, affordable housing, public safety, and open, transparent government. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen called into Daybreak with a more optimistic outlook on the end of the session, which is slated for next Thursday. Drew talked about the massive difference between the House and Senate supplemental budgets, about a $400 million difference.
The two budgets, the House budget and the Senate budget, and keep in mind these are the supplemental budgets, so all of these budgets are supposed to do are make adjustments to the existing budget based on revenue forecast and caseload work of agencies, and you make adjustments based on that. And so, having said that, one of the big points of contention that we have right now is the House Democrat budget has embarked on more policy changes, which has changed their budget to the tune of over $400 million, whereas the Senate budget has done a more traditional supplemental budget where it's made the adjustments. And so we're $400 million apart, which to you and I is a truckload of money in the legislature out of $38 billion. It's a workable figure. And so where we're at right now, both the Senate and the House are on the floor every day now until the end.
Drew also talked about the votes that are being taken as the House looks at Senate bills and vice versa. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. For iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
It's about your life and your money. It's the Dave Ramsey Show.
You don't win by accident. So this is your year to win. You don't get out of debt. You don't save your marriage by accident. You don't increase the quality of your marriage by accident. You don't raise great kids accidentally. These are intentional acts. that you make choices on the variables in your environment and you form and control your life.
The Dave Ramsey Show, weekdays from noon to 3 on iFIBER One News Radio.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
iFIBER One News Radio. I'm Dale Hubbard, 8:08 on your Blue Friday if you're wearing Gonzaga blue this morning. A lot of you may be wearing Tumwater green.
I bleed green and gold, Dale.
Attaboy. There it is. Now, listen, I'll tell you what, it is.
Out my Letterman's jacket.
It is. Do you have a Letterman's jacket?
I do not. It definitely does, though.
Okay, it's playoff time for high school basketball. Tumwater T-Birds boys basketball team. Whoa, they were in a good one. They were in a good one late last night. State 2A quarterfinal action over in Yakima in the Sun Dome. And the T-Birds beat Ellensburg in overtime, 58-57. What a game. Tumwater moves on to semifinal action tonight against Shorecrest, who upset River Ridge by 10 points yesterday evening as well. And in girls basketball locally, Black Hills loses to Linden 59-44, dropping to the consolation round in the state tournament over there in Yakima. Mariners won for the second day in a row against the San Diego Padres, claiming a come-from-behinder 6-5 in front of a small crowd there at Peoria Stadium. Mariners collected. Did you find out the capacity at Peoria?
Well, I saw two different numbers. It was really weird. One said 6,000, but then another said 12,000.
Okay, and there was 4,000, so.
I'm thinking it's 6.
Okay.
I'm thinking the whole complex
is 12,000.
Can hold 12,000.
I'm with you.
Including the batting cages and stuff.
Yeah. Our first broadcast of Mariners baseball, by the way, is tomorrow against the Angels, pregame at noon. And then we'll cover the Mariners and Rangers about noon again on Sunday. Yes? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that is how that works. And then also, of course, Gonzaga working hard to get, I was researching this morning to see if they're on a bubble or in a bubble or trying to get into the NCAA. Nobody's even talking about Gonzaga. They're talking about St. Mary's.
Yeah.
Not talking about Gonzaga right now. They're in the WCC. They start tomorrow night, and we have the game for you. We begin our coverage at 9:10, and then 9:30 is the tip-off. Late game tomorrow night against Portland. They win. Tomorrow night, they'll move on to semifinal play on Monday, and then the finals on Tuesday. A winner of the WCC will, in fact, probably go to the NCAAs. And that's sports. Jeff, weather?
South Sound forecast at 8:11. Partly cloudy sky and about 38 this morning. Likely to see rain around 11 o'clock, and 2/3 of an inch is what we're going to see throughout the day today, and 1/2 inch tomorrow. More rain on Sunday and into next week. Could get heavy at times as well. Right now they're saying on Wednesday over 1 inch. So we'll keep eyes on everything, including the Skoke River near Potlatch.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South Sound's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
8:12 at iFIBER One News Radio.
Yes, on iFiberOneNewsRadio.com right now. There's a video story for you to check out. Jeff Chu talking with Shelton native Kara Sampson. Kara grew up with the neurological disorder of epilepsy. She raises money for that cause now through her retail shop here in Shelton and tours as an inspirational speaker, oftentimes offering help to folks who also suffer from epilepsy. So a very touching story, a nice video story for you to check out on iFiberOneNewsRadio.com.
Shelton School Superintendent Dr. Alex Apostle stops by for his weekly visit here in 3 minutes on iFIBER One News Radio.
listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
This love letter's for my sweet beauty. Your scent drives me all sorts of cray. Every time you touch my lips, ooh, how it makes my day. Rich, smooth, fresh, and steamy. Dang, you're a dream. So let me give you some sugar, and then perhaps some cream. There's no denying your love for a rich, smooth, fresh brewed McCafe. And now, get any size for just $1. A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Say, what's for lunch? Breakfast. No, what's for lunch? Oh, yeah, breakfast. Breakfast for lunch? Yep. Then what's for dinner? Breakfast is. I thought you said breakfast was for lunch. Oh, I totally did. But now you're saying breakfast is for dinner. Oh, yeah, yeah. So, wait, is lunch for breakfast?
No, breakfast is for breakfast. With McDonald's all-day breakfast menu, which includes the Egg McMuffin, hot cakes, and hash browns, anytime is delicious breakfast time.
Man, I'm heading to McDonald's. Have a good afternoon.
Don't you mean good morning?
I do now.
McDonald's all-day breakfast menu varies by location.
Hi guys, Kat here with iFIBER ONE News Radio. What if I told you that radio advertising is far more effective than print media? Think about all of your customers driving to work, appointments, or events, all the while listening to the radio. Imagine your commercial airs on iFIBER ONE News Radio and the customer decides, hey, I'm right by there. I'm going to go check it out. Radio captures you and literally speaks to you and your customers several times a day. This enables you to build a unique message that reminds your customers what you have to offer. Remember, your customers can either drive to you or through you. And here at iFIBER ONE News Radio, we want to direct customers to you. Being the only talk radio formatted station in the entire South Sound region, we have an entire new market for your business to advertise in. As your sales lady, I take pride in providing your business with the best advertising because I want your business to succeed. So call me today at 360-463-2558 and ask for Kat.
Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at iFIBER ONE News Radio. Jeff and Dale, and we are talking with Shelton School Superintendent, Dr. Alex Apostle. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jeff. Dale, it's a pleasure to be here this morning with you.
Always good to see you, sir. And once again, busy. So we've got spring sports on the horizon, and next week we have our community night.
Yes. We have a community pride night on March 9th at 5:30 at Shelton High School, where we will honor our spring sport athletes, our coaches, and our families. And we hopefully will have a big crowd to celebrate the start of the spring sports season.
So this will be the third Community Pride Night.
Third Community Pride Night.
And has each one gotten a...
Well, I think they've been well attended. And, we had a great fall sports season, a real great winter sports season.
Oh, yeah.
And we're anticipating some great things happening and great achievements taking place with our spring sports program. So
very exciting.
I think the one in the fall was probably a little bigger, but we're hoping this one surpasses the fall.
All right, very good. And that'll be next Wednesday night, the 9th.
Yeah, the 9th.
Yeah, okay, yes. Very good. All right.
And then
this is exciting going on.
We have a board meeting on Tuesday night, March 8th. It starts at 6:00 p.m. at Choice High School. We're looking forward to making a few announcements at that board meeting. Of course, everyone is encouraged to attend. I might also add that we have our science fair, our annual science fair at Evergreen on March 19th. That's Saturday. We're very excited about that. I am a member of the Skookum Rotary, which is sponsoring that event. And I volunteered to do some setup and some judging. So I'm pretty excited about that. Also, this afternoon at Bordeaux Elementary School, this is going to be a real neat activity that really supports Graduation Matters Shelton. Our kindergartners at Bordeaux and the 5th graders will receive T-shirts that say Shelton, Graduation Matters Shelton, and the year that the kindergartners will graduate from high school. And, of course, the 5th graders will have their graduating date on the back of their T-shirt. So it's going to be a big event, and I thank Sheila, one of our paras at the school, for really championing this event. She's done a great job, and of course the administration and staff. I want to thank them for all their support. But this will be a first for me to see something like this, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, it kind of lays a little seed for the kindergartners and fifth graders especially. They've got now a goal and a hard date out in front of them there. And we were just talking off air. What was the year for these kindergartners now? The
2023 graduation. So, we want to encourage our students in terms of doing well in school as early as possible. And this is one way that we can do that and also support our initiative, Graduation Matters Shelton.
Yeah, plus they'll have a lot of fun today.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
And what time is that going to be today? About 11 o'clock?
Yeah, between 11 and 12, thereabouts. And we're just looking forward to that event.
That'll be a kind of a kick. You bet. Absolutely. Anything else we need to be aware of?
Well, I think that's about it for this at this point in time. But next week will be a busy week for us. And I look forward to being with you next Friday morning.
We look forward to it as well.
So Tuesday, a board meeting. Wednesday is Pride Night. And today from 11 to 12, celebrate the class of 2023. And so the fifth graders would be 2019. 2019.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just around the corner.
It is just around the corner. Yeah, it's going to be great.
All right, very good. Well, thank you, Doctor. Yep.
You bet.
Have a great weekend.
From the iFIBER One News Radio.
It's 8:19 here at iFIBER One News Radio. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got more on the Daybreak program here on iFIBER One.
Listening to Daybreak on iFIBER One News Radio.
iFIBER Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFIBER to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFIBER team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFIBER, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFIBER Internet?
Well, iFIBER has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFIBER Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFIBER.tv for more information. Need a ride? Call 426-8294. Mason County Taxi, 426-8294. Anytime, anywhere. Call when you need a quick, affordable ride. 426-TAXI, 426-8294.
There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
Hi, everyone. This is Mark Tobert, your advertising consultant from iFIBER One News Radio. Are you missing customers because you only market to a specific group? iFIBER One News Radio can help you hit a larger group of buyers with our diverse audience. We are 24 hours of local and national breaking news, award-winning talk radio, and primetime sports, including local high school sports. What does this mean to you? This means our listeners listen longer to entire programs and don't switch to another station when a commercial comes on. Our coverage in the Puget Sound area hits over 500,000 listeners, including Mason County, Thurston County, Grace Harbor County, King, Pierce, Joint Base Lewis McCourt, and Kitsap County to the Bremerton Naval Base. All advertising is 100% tax deductible. So how can you afford not to advertise? Call me, Mark Tobert, at iFIBER One News Radio to become a total audience plan advertiser. Just call 360-426-1030.
iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
All right, good morning. Daybreak. Technology, right? It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Gotcha. Check the morning stock numbers in a couple of minutes. Speaking of technology, here's one for you.
All right.
Digital breadcrumbs leaving behind on Facebook can be used to piece together things. Everybody says don't post that you're going on holiday. Oh man, I can't wait to take a little R&R.
And that tells everybody else nobody's going to be at your house.
Well,
right?
Yes, that is exactly what happens. And here's a even creepier way that they're using this. Facebook can be used to piece together an eerily accurate profile of your friends' sleeping habits.
What?
According to a Danish software developer. Facebook's Messenger service is an app. It's a standalone app. So I don't have Facebook app on my phone anymore.
Good for you.
I don't use that, but I use the Messenger, the chatting thing.
Yeah.
A little different. So in that, they have the app. It shows when a friend was last active. So a developer, a Danish software developer, who's not affiliated with Facebook, said he found a list of users' ID and last activity on messenger.com, which is the web-based version of the app. So if you can see when the person's last active, you can make a mark. And then when they become active, it makes a mark. And then and this and that. So then it would create a snapshot, potentially, of your sleeping habits.
They're using their user habits for Facebook to get a snapshot of that.
Because for many folks, that's the first thing that happens in the morning. You wake up and you check Facebook.
Don't let my life go to that.
You go to bed and you check Facebook. You wake up in the middle of the night because you can't sleep. You check Facebook.
Do you?
No. No.
Wow.
I've actually been sleeping pretty good through the nights. Stephanie, on the other hand, not as much. My breathe rate strips, I still use them, and they sleeping like a champ. Anyway, so this guy is able to then use the code based on who's active and not active. Right. And you can find out when your friends are sleeping. And
that's when you want to drive up to their bedroom window and then lay on your horn and brights.
Boy, I got scared this morning on my walk. I walked past a car that I know leaves about the same time as I walk by them every morning. I must have been a little early because I walked right past the car.
And he started.
And it's a brand new Mustang, so they are real throaty. And I jumped. Nice. Simon, I think, almost had a heart attack. Winston was almost in my arms as well.
It's got a nice sound.
It was a great sound.
But not when you're not expecting it at
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yikes. Oh, man. Hey, Democratic presidential debate coming your way Sunday night after Mariner baseball. How about that? Huh? We'll start about 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon and take you through the dinner hour. If you can't be glued to your TV and you want to do some other things, you can listen on the radio. And we do have a Mariner baseball this weekend starting tomorrow at noon and then at 11:55 on Sunday. So a couple of Mariner games for you to help you get into the swing of things. Starting to maybe get the first inklings of spring cleaning around the house. I was looking around yesterday going, I got stuff I got to attend to that have kind of deteriorated over the winter, you know.
I don't even know what to do with my front lawn. It's half moss and half gross. It's awesome.
It is. Half gross is all awesome.
We went to Empty Bowls. After Empty Bowls, took the Kaiserowski to the Golden Arches, Mickey D's.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Happy Meal, they offer up two toys now in the Happy Meal.
I didn't know they 2 toys.
There's you can either choose the My Little Pony toy or the Transformers toy.
Yeah? What did you guys go with?
We went with the Transformers toy. They just put that in there. It was Bumblebee. In Sweden, the Burger Giant is featuring Happy Meals that include what they're calling Happy Goggles. This is to turn your Happy Meal into a virtual reality thing that works with mom or dad's smartphone.
I heard another kid's virtual reality thing that was taking shape yesterday.
Was it the piggy bank? Was it the piggy bank?
No, it wasn't the piggy bank, but they're integrating a lot of this virtual reality into the young children's. It was like McDonald's, two or three fast food restaurants were doing something. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's
so. Basically, it's just like the Oculus Rift or the Google Glass, that cardboard thing. You take this box and you put your parents' smartphones in it, mom and dad's smartphones in it, and then it basically turns it into one of those. Do you remember? It's a stenograph or something like that. It was the two images. And your eyes kind of glazed over, and they became one image, and you can see the 3D. I don't remember that had the circle, and you press the thing down.
Kaleidoscope, kind of.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like
that. And so basically, that's where they're at these days. Only it's full video.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is
the
amazing.
toy that we got, you could download an app, scan the toy,
and
then it creates like a game from it. I don't know how they do this.
I don't know how they do it either.
I'm trying to pay attention.
Boxlight is a big company, not a big company in the number of employees, but worldwide. They provide interactive whiteboards for classrooms and projectors that are interactive for the walls and that sort of thing. And they've just absorbed another company. And I was just going through the two websites just to see what they're up to. And this is what my grandchildren are, they're kindergarten and preschool right now.
Yeah.
So this is what they're going and what Kaiser will be looking at for his classrooms and his teaching. And so it's so awesome. They'll have a whiteboard, for instance, but the kids can just put their finger on there and they can draw stuff on it or make the calculations and it's isn't that most amazing?
So it looks to me like if you've watched Shepard Smith in the afternoon on Fox News, he's got those people in the background that have those giant iPads.
Yes.
That's basically, and this is a Belfair company too.
Yes, they're out of Belfair. Yep, absolutely.
On the phone line this morning from Edward Jones. Good morning.
Good morning.
Karen?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. Are you wearing blue?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
It's Gonzaga blue, not Seahawk blue.
I'm not a
It could be Mariner blue.
I could be Mariner blue.
Mariner blue works today, too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe we should start that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I do. That way we can wear blue.
On Friday.
Pretty much, yeah, all year round.
All year round.
All year round.
That takes
every Friday's Blue Friday. There's one day you don't have to worry about what you're going to pull out of the closet.
That's true. That's true.
Being the stylista that you are.
Yeah, that's me.
What's going on with Wall Street this morning?
Well, U.S. stocks are edging higher today as data showed the U.S. economy created more jobs than expected in February. In a separate economic report, data showed an unexpected decline in wages, which is giving markets pause in terms of assessing the potential implications of the data on the future Fed rate decisions. Bond rates are mixed with little change to begin the day. So far this morning in the S&P 500, the best performing sector is basic materials, while the worst performing sector is healthcare. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 60 points at 17,004. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is up 5 points at 1,999. And the NASDAQ Composite Index is up 12 points at 4,719. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is high, with about 334 million shares being traded, and advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 5-2 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is up $4.83 to $1,269.06. The spot price of silver is up 46 cents to $15.69, and crude oil prices are up 53 cents to $35.10. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 2.72%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 1.89%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is up $1.49, Costco is down 45 cents, Boeing is up $1.44, Starbucks is down 44 cents, and Microsoft is down 42 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton. If you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
All right, Karen, have a great weekend.
Hey, you too.
Thank you. It's 8:32 now at iFIBER One, and we have got the latest in local news. It's brought to you right now by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation.
From the iFIBER One News Radio studios, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's movement on the Sierra Pacific Industries Shelton waterfront sawmill reconstruction. The site plan review application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located outside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes all of the proposed new standing structures. The comment period for the site plan review portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Friday, March 18th. The Shoreline Substantial Development Permit application submitted by SPI applies to all proposed improvements located inside a distance of 200 feet from Oakland Bay, Shelton Creek, and Goldsboro Creek. This includes the proposed riparian buffer areas, a portion of the site log deck, and a portion of the stormwater treatment facilities. The comment period for the Shoreline Substantial Development Permit portion of the land use permitting ends at 5 p.m. on Monday, April 11th. Materials submitted by Sierra Pacific Industries can be viewed on the City of Shelton's website. The city will not make a final determination on either land use permits until its comment period is over and the city has had an opportunity to assess comments received. Republican Kevin Schutte announced this week he's running for the Mason County Board of Commissioners, District 2. He hopes to succeed County Commissioner Tim Sheldon, who will not seek another term after 16 years of service. Schutte says he'll address issues including jobs and the economy, affordable housing, public safety, and open, transparent government. 35th District Representative Drew McEwen called into Daybreak with a more optimistic outlook on the end of the session, which is slated for next Thursday. Drew talked about the massive difference between the House and Senate supplemental budgets, about a $400 million difference.
The two budgets, the House budget and the Senate budget, and keep in mind these are the supplemental budgets, so all of these budgets are supposed to do are make adjustments to the existing budget based on revenue forecast and caseload work of agencies, and you make adjustments based on that. And so, having said that, one of the big points of contention that we have right now is the House Democrat budget has embarked on more policy changes, which has changed their budget to the tune of over $400 million, whereas the Senate budget has done a more traditional supplemental budget where it's made the adjustments. And so we're $400 million apart, which to you and I is a truckload of money in the legislature out of $38 billion. It's a workable figure. And so where we're at right now, both the Senate and the House are on the floor every day now until the end.
Drew also talked about the votes that are being taken as the House looks at Senate bills and vice versa. Hear the full interview on the Daybreak page at iFIBER1newsradio.com. For iFIBER One News Radio, 1030 KMAS at FM 103.3, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
This is Doug Sample from Whitney Chevrolet. Taxes are on everyone's mind. Make the most of your tax refund at Whitney Chevrolet in Montesano, where the sales tax is lower than most places in the state. Plus other dealers, factory costs are more because they roll in the cost of the advertising. We don't do that, but we do offer lifetime oil changes on every new and used vehicle. Stop by or visit WhitneyChev.com.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Drive to Whitney's, just down the road to Whitney.
You can guess the results, and the Kings with a big road win. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. Steph Curry wasn't at his three-point best last night against the Thunder, but he got plenty of help from his friends by the Bay.
Draymond, middle of the floor, left side, Clay to the rim. Clay Thompson with a two-hand slam, and the Thunder need a timeout.
On KNBR, Warriors tied an NBA record by winning their 44th straight regular season home game, 121-106 over Oklahoma City. Curry scored 33. Kawhi Leonard with a clutch basket in the final minute in New Orleans.
Around that screen, straightaway three. Kawhi not. Wow. Kawhi Leonard with a huge three.
On WOAI, Leonard scored 30. Spurs held off the Pelicans 94-86 for their 7th straight win, and a significant road victory for the Kings in Dallas.
Out to Bellinelli, uncovered for three. He's got another one. It's his 3rd triple tonight.
On KHTK, Kings knock off the Mavericks 104-101. Sacramento ends a 22-game regular season losing streak in Big D. Top 25 college hoops, a nail-biter in Tucson as Arizona's Gabe York knocked down 2 huge threes in the final minute.
Back things up a bit. They want York to come off a screen. He gets it. He turns. He shoots a three for the lead. He's got it.
On the Arizona IMG Sports Network, and the 18th-ranked Wildcats complete the comeback win over number 25 California 64-61. Maryland beat Illinois 81-55. To the NHL, Dwight is the king of all kings.
King in all alone. Takes a shot. Scores! Beautiful.
Beautiful play by Dwight King.
On KABC, Kings crowned the Canadians 3-2 in Los Angeles. The Islanders tied at 3 in Winnipeg.
Franz down the slot, shoots, knocked down in front. Oposo the rebound, he scores! Kyle Oposo, the overtime winner for New York.
On WRHU-FM, Islanders 4-3 over the Jets. NFL notes the Texans released franchise rushing leader Arian Foster after 7 seasons. First round of the Davis Cup in Australia, where the Americans and host country are tied at 1. The Bryan brothers play doubles on Saturday. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
If you could wave a wand and change one thing about your house, what would it be?
Hold that thought, but forget the wand. Home improvement isn't magic.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer, we can show you the tricks of the trade for remodeling and repair.
And how to not get fooled when you're choosing and directing a contractor. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Phone in your fix-up questions here this weekend.
On the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
Saturdays at 10, Sundays at 7 on iFIBER One News Radio.
For iFIBER One News Radio, I'm Dale Hubbard. It is 8:38. It is playoff time for high school basketball. And your Tumwater T-Birds, the boys, prevail in overtime, 58-57. They beat Ellensburg late last night in the state 2A quarterfinals. Tumwater now goes up against Shorecrest, who upset River Ridge yesterday by 10 points. So best of luck to the T-Birds, still alive for that state championship. In girls basketball, Black Hills lost to Linden yesterday by a final of 59-44. Mariners won for the second day in a row, 2 out of 2 now so far. They beat the San Diego Padres, claiming a come-from-behind 6-5 win in front of 3,901 fans. At Peoria Stadium, Mariners collected double-digit hits for the second game in a row as well. 8 hits by players that didn't even start the game. It was a fun game to watch. Let's see, coming up today, the Mariners play against Milwaukee at Maryvale Stadium, just a half-hour drive from Peoria. Right-handed pitcher Taiwan Walker scheduled to start for the M's against the Brewers right-hander Wiley Coyote. Just seeing if you're paying attention. Wiley Peralta. Our first broadcast of Mariners baseball is tomorrow at noon against the Angels, and then Sunday at noon against the Rangers. And we'll have the Democratic, that's not sports, but we'll have the Democratic debate following Mariners baseball
grudge
on
match
Sunday
last
night.
night,
It
though.
could be, last night would have been like considered a sport of some sort. Gonzaga, they're playing the WCC tournament, and they start tomorrow night at 9 o'clock late in the evening against Portland. Should they win, and they should, they'll play Monday for a chance at the finals on Tuesday. Jeff? What do we have for the weekend, weather-wise?
Well, we're looking at a lot of rain off and on, including today, where it's likely to start in about an hour and a half, and we could see 3/4 of an inch. A ½ inch tomorrow now with updated totals, and Sunday gives us another 1/3 of an inch. So heavy rains over the next 10 days.
But warm temperatures, huh?
Mid-50s.
Yeah.
It was 58 yesterday, and right now it's 38.
Now, from the iFIBER One News Radio Studios, it's Daybreak. Providing local news, sports, weather, and interviews to the South South's most important people. You. From business leaders to politicians, from activists for change to advocates for the poor, your neighbors and newsmakers are here on Daybreak.
Well, good morning to you. It's 8:42 here at iFIBER One News Radio, AM 1030 and FM 103.3. Looking at a brand new submarine that's going to be commissioned this weekend.
I see that.
First sub with our state's name, in a long time.
USS Washington, huh?
Drew McEwen was on the phone with us, 35th District Representative, earlier this week. They were going to commissioning this thing over the weekend in Virginia. So
Is he going for that?
Well, he was going to, because he was in the Navy and stuff like that. But
he's on a submarine, actually.
We got the votes. There's potential votes.
So he has to stay close to home.
Stay close to home.
That's tough.
No voting by proxy for these guys this time. But the USS Washington submarine, named after the great state here. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, indeed. All right.
Virginia-class attack sub. Nuclear-powered, fast, shallow coastal regions.
Okay. They may take it for a test spin up and down the Hood Canal one of these days.
Wouldn't that be something to see that come in here? Yeah. Whoa, that would be something.
The whales would be going like, what's that? It doesn't smell very good. Junior, stay away from that thing. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
Police say a mother is the sole survivor of a house fire that killed 3 children overnight in Centralia. Other headline news, Iranian state TV reporting that the Republic has invited Boeing to negotiate a possible aircraft purchase.
You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE Newsradio.
Hey, baseball fans, it's that time of year again to join iFIBER ONE News Radio for Seattle Mariners baseball. Baseball is part of the fabric of summertime in the Northwest, and with people traveling to enjoy outdoor activities like camping, fishing, hiking, and boating, the only place to listen to the Seattle Mariners is on iFIBER ONE News Radio. People ask what they remember about a business when they have a need, and they always remember the name that they hear, the one that is most relevant in their mind. Advertising makes your business relevant and part of the community. Your business can be part of the Mariners broadcast each day or each inning of every game this summer by signing up now. Any business that signs up now to advertise with the Mariners gets up to 300 free scheduled magnets. Call iFIBER ONE News Radio today at 360-426-1030 and sign up to be part of the Mariners broadcast team.
Time now for your latest KMAS ski report. We're kind of between storms, so Friday, a nice day to get out there. Still plenty of powdery snow, too, when you get away from the groom. You're going on some of the glades and the steeps and the bumps, and you're getting that nice, soft snow. Summit Snoqualmie Central, softening spring conditions at 28 trails. It's 20 slopes for Summit Snoqualmie Alpental. They still have packed powder. Crystal Mountain got a few inches of fresh snow with 56 trails, and Mission Ridge is 100%. Mount Baker stands to get a bit of snow this weekend. They have 1,000 acres of terrain, 38 groom trails in very nice shape. Summit at Snoqualmie East and West are both back for Saturday. We'll get some showers and some snow showers, too. Mount Bachelor is 100% with packed powder on a firm base. Schweitzer, Idaho picked up several inches of fresh snow this week with 92 trails. Sun Valley with 117 slopes. Big Mountain Groom Cruisers will soften with spring conditions on Saturday. I'm Chuck Devine for KMAS News Radio AM 1030 and FM 103.3.
Always up to the minute with the most accurate information. It's Daybreak on iFIBER ONE.
I can count to 3. When I get to 4, I start getting a little foggy, a little confused.
15 till
We'll check our
9.
math.
Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here. Jeff and Dale, good morning.
The annals of history.
So that's what's going on there. We have, excuse me, a great video story on iFiber1newsradio.com this morning. Jeff Chu talked with Shelton native Kara Sampson, grew up with epilepsy and raises money for the cause through her Shelton retail shop. Also tours as an inspirational speaker and offers help to folks who also suffer from epilepsy. That's right on the front page of iFiber1newsradio.com.
Wow. Okay. And coming up, this is Friday, by the way. So next week, a whole brand new week, and we'll have Tim Sheldon. We'll ask him ourselves on Monday.
Look at that one I booked.
Oh, what in the world? Ron Pinnell and the gang are going to be in for Pancake Day.
So there is a lot of stuff on the internet about Pancake Day, and it is technically IHOP Pancake Day.
All right. Okay.
But I don't want to talk about IHOP.
No, because they don't advertise with us.
There is another pancake deal to talk about. So I got in touch. I talked to Don Pinnell after Radio Real Estate. I says, could you ask Ron and his buddies to come on in,
about the pancake breakfast?
Talk about the pancake breakfast that they do all those many years, and that device.
Yes.
To basically
The
just to talk
pancake
about
machine.
the pancake machine.
Oh, that's cool. That'll be Tuesday morning. You guys want to tune in for Ron and his gang of however many.
Oh, it's going to be fun. But you're at Tim Sheldon on Monday.
Tim Sheldon, and so we'll ask him. how many times he's been elected as commissioner.
We'll get to the bottom.
Tom, be patient.
We're working.
Our math skills need a little sharpening up from time to time.
In flux.
Lynn Longen, EDC report on Mondays as well. Those always happen. It's still session. So Dan Griffey on Tuesday, Drew on Wednesday. Transit talk as well. What else we got going on next week?
Mike Callahan's coming in from the Pioneer Kiwanis for their crab, clam, and spaghetti dinner that's coming up. Included in that is a big auction helping out the kids at the Pioneer School.
Yes.
We are looking to fill out this next Thursday, the 10th, with another nutritional segment at 7:45 after Joe yesterday. But throughout the rest of the month, we've got great conversations about that.
That is absolutely true. And next Friday will be Radio Real Estate Friday. Now, we're going to try to fill in this off Friday.
We'll see.
We had a guest broker with us one day, and I think we scared her. You were gone.
So I'm gone, and you lost out on that then.
Well, she was in, and she seemed to be okay. I says, if you any trepidation, any anxiety, call me. Let me know. I'll talk to you about it. And Dawn was her wonderful self and all that. So we'll see if we can't fill in these every other Fridays with another broker from the John L. Scott.
Do you have any houses in your area up for sale? We just had one listed, and
anywhere that they're not for sale.
I was surprised at the price that was listed.
High?
It was higher than I thought, higher than what the estimates are, even for my place.
Really?
It was a little smaller.
Yeah.
So we'll see what's going on. The market, who knows? Could be getting better. They had some new job numbers today. Still another 250,000 jobs or so added in the country.
Is your place still big enough for your family? Your growing family?
It is. We were unfortunate situation for other homeowners in 2007, 2008, 2009. We were fortunate to get in at like the bottom of the housing market.
Price-wise.
And our house...
and record interest. Low interest.
Yeah, exactly. So we definitely lucked out. And we're hearing from friends that have kids. And they're saying, well, our house, even though it's big, is not as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And 1 and 1 isn't 2 if you're thinking of adding to the family.
No.
I'm just going to say.
There's a whole extra amounts of stuff everywhere.
1 and 1 is like another world. So anyway, that's all good stuff. And the real estate market has been pretty vibrant and pretty exciting for those who are participating in it. I see where the affordable housing and the tax structure in Seattle is under fire here this week. Did you hear about that?
No, what happened?
So the mayor proposed a pretty substantial property tax increase to help fund affordable housing in the city. He's building a lot of these affordable housing units, brand new. And so where's the money coming from? Well, property owners. And so, you're moving your resources around. Okay, so now you got affordable housing. But then the people that have afforded to live there, and I'll grant you, Seattle's become very expensive to live in. But now he wants to more than double the amount of property tax
for everybody.
For everybody, yeah. So it's controversial, and it's not a done deal yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was the big news earlier in the week this week out of Seattle proper. That's Seattle city limits too, by the way. It's not the whole King County or anything.
There's a lot of those nice houses there along the Lake Union and they may be able to scrape up a little bit more. But I see what you're saying. There's a lot of houses in a lot of neighborhoods.
Oh my goodness, it's the most populated city in the state. I think there's a few, and then it's so a lot of people live there in Seattle. A lot of traffic in Seattle. You ever notice?
No, because I don't go if I don't have to.
Man, I've got to go. I stress now. I used to never even blinked about going to Seattle.
When do you go? Oh, because you got to get on 90 to head over to the...
Well, yeah, and then I got the grandkids all live in Seattle. So going there this weekend again.
Would you encourage people to live in South Seattle in the sense that it's easier to commute between the rest of the corridor as opposed to living like near UW,
right?
Where you have to go through town.
Well, you got to go into town. I would, unless most city dwellers stay within the city limits the majority of time, so they don't come and go and get in and out. That's the one thing. So if you're in the south, or you're in the north, or you're in the east, or west, you're commuting. So you're dealing with that stuff. If you're in the core of it, then you're there. And if you don't have a lot of reasons to leave the city
From the
core,
iFIBER
then,
ONE News,
then they just everybody's happy, and they actually are less likely to be tangled up in all that traffic because they live and work all in the same place.
Some friends that are will be moving to Seattle. They decided to stay south.
Yeah.
So they can get to Olympia, within an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, I know.
7 hours.
Crazy sometimes. It really is.
Old Farmer's Almanac right now. We'll come back, wrap things up on a Friday. It is the 4th of March on iFIBER One.
Yeah. You're listening to Daybreak on iFIBER ONE News Radio.
Come by over the winter, but that is about to change. A look at what's in season for March on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Friday, March 4th. It is the 64th day of the year, and coaching legend Knute Rockne was born on this day. With springtime on the horizon, your choice of in-season produce is about to get much better. And better yet, the earliest spring vegetables are often regarded as superfoods, rich in potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. You'll often find turnips near the top of that list. Snag a few when they appear in the produce aisle and enjoy them roasted with carrots and sweet potatoes. Don't pass up fresh radishes. They're packed with vitamin C and add a nice spicy crunch as a salad topping. And nothing says taste of spring like fresh, tender spears of asparagus, one of the best sources of vitamin K, important for bone health. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Learn more online at almanac.com.
iFIBER ONE News Radio, 1030 KMAS and FM 103.3 presents Daybreak.
Too quick to make a decision. It is the 4th, and it is 8:54 on iFIBER ONE News Radio. Daybreak here. Got Jeff and Dale behind the microphones for you on a Friday.
Yeah, I probably won't be here Monday.
Oh, that makes 2 of us. What?
Wait.
No, though next week I am going to be gone a week from today, so you'll be back on. I'm going to head over to your Freda.
Actually, yeah, and I'll take part of your Thursday shift if you want. It's up to you. If you're not starting things till 3,
yeah,
then maybe we can negotiate.
Going back and forth, it's all in efforts to increase and improve the quality of not only the signal on the radio coverage, but enhancing our video presence, which Sean Wells and Jeff Chu, who have come to us from Ufreda and iFIBER ONE headquarters, global headquarters, it is added. I got 2-3 phone calls just yesterday on thanks for the additional video coveraging of the different sports over this season, and then Jeff being out and about for the news reports.
Right, and so we are excited about what we have planned in the year ahead, and so it's just trying to contain myself and not spill the beans. But Jeff just pulled up a piece of equipment that I'm drooling about, and I think I hate to replace people with machines, but this might answer.
You could replace, you're replacing a person behind the scenes who you could add in front of the scenes for more coverage of things.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And the trend, to be blunt, really, for people that like their news now, they like a little video and a little bit of audio, and they don't want to be tangled up for hours and hours on a story.
Right.
So that's just kind of what we've sensed since shifting a lot of our news efforts online. And man, I tell you what, just things are exciting. Things are popping.
Things are popping.
Things are popping. Hope you'll make plans to enjoy us all weekend long. We got lots of lifestyle programming for everybody. We got debates. We got baseball. We have
basketball too tomorrow night.
Basketball tomorrow night. Gonzaga still fighting the good fight, and Karnowski's out for the rest of the year, and they're doing it kind of limping into the WCC, but they got a great record and they're tied for first. They shared the league title this year. And always a player and all that. And then we've got, of course, under the hood, we have the Money Pit, and we have what else do we have on the weekends? We got Talking Pets.
Talking Pets, always Talking Pets. Saturday morning, a new show, Grape Encounters, talking wine.
I like that show. And then our good friend Doug Steffen
Family Farmer.
Family Farmer for an hour on the weekends as well. And so we try to cover lots of different topics, lots of different subjects for people to engage in and to be entertained by. So
we will give you a pass if this weekend you are watching the finale of the show that made PBS cool. Here's more from David Blaustein.
Downton Abbey comes to an end this weekend, and we'll find out what fate has in store for the Crawleys and their various servants.
It's been such a long road. Can this really be the end of it?
Kevin P. Sullivan writes about the show for Entertainment Weekly.
Without giving too much away, I think people need to be watching Mary.
While Downton Abbey is ending, Jessica Fellows, author of the official companion guide to the series, says her uncle and series creator Julian Fellows is thinking about making a Downton Abbey movie.
He feels it would be fun to write something on that scale. So we should keep our fingers crossed.
David Blaustein, ABC News.
I've never watched this show, and up until maybe just this report, I always thought it was Downtown Abbey. But apparently it's a great show on
think
PBS.
It's set at the turn of the last century, like around the 1900s, late 1880s, 1890s, and the early 1900s. Is the setting, and of course London is the location. Different times, and with all those, if you don't start in the beginning, you're lost. You don't know who's who and who the players are and what's what.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
PBS has always been cool, by the way. Sesame Street, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Sherlock, which is an amazing.
I can never remember when PBS wasn't cool.
I can't either.
Who said they weren't? By the way, speaking of the turn of the century, the AAA of America, Automobile Association of America, founded on this date, 1902. So, first didn't cars start about that time?
Yeah.
Mass manufacturing of cars. So, we got all these cars. We better get AAA out there. Tow them all in. For $1 a year, you can have a free tow service. And isn't that funny? So, they started the AAA, Automobile Association of America. Very good organization, by the way. They're not paying for this endorsement, but, man, if you've ever needed them to
they're there
unlock
for
your
you.
Car or to bail you out of something or to get you towed somewhere.
Only 144 miles of paved roadway and 8,000 cars in 1902.
Beautiful. Light in the future there. Have a great weekend, everybody.
You're listening to Daybreak.